Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final VOD, right? You'll be able to tell on YouTube if this statement has aged well or not. This has been fun, but I've been thinking about this, and I think it's negatives time. Because here's the deal. The level I was really looking forward to was this one, which is Rotting Hill, right? Because it's like you start off on such a back foot, but they give you several things to help offset that. And that sounds like a cool level design. And it actually is. With one pretty huge exception. The thing that all of these final levels have in common is that their objectives suck and just take too long. I would try to figure out how to put this into words. The thing is, the stage objectives have been cool and interesting, and the kind of things that really only need to take X amount of time. They're there to teach you mechanics, get you invested in the game, slowly unlock things, and to push you into different modes and styles of play, right? Some of them have been good, and some of them have not, but these last two, Pelican Wharf and Rotting Hill, have both sucked because it's like, here's a scenario, but also now just go grind your face out for several hours. I spent 3 hours off camera last night. Doing this. You'll notice I'm only 9 patients away from the cure. But that's the point, isn't it? Getting morale that high? Sure, that's relatively easy. Getting the reputation that high? Again, that's something you have plenty of tools available to do. Hospital value? Just expansion. But the numbers are so high, especially that cure number, that it just took time. And at a certain point in time, it stopped being engaging because it was just keep doing the same thing forever. Which just wasn't quite cutting it. Speaking of which, I need to launch this campaign again. Well, here's the best part. Like I said, I was looking forward to this stage, but the problem is it didn't really do much. Well, that is her right to have that opinion, Roman Cure. So anyways, negative for the length being bad. I mean this, though. I really do.
Training course completed.
And all the deaths. So yeah, we're just going to fast forward and sit here. Morale just dipped. I can fix that easily. Once I get that 100. Mega Man music. Nobody likes Mega Man music. Get out of here. Get out of here. Come on, 1. There you go. Mission complete. Long has the debt of this hospital been weighing on my mind. I'm sorry to say at one point it almost affected my rest. Ugh, came very close to shutting it down. But you've steadied the ship, so I don't have to do all that paperwork. Here's to you, Maestro. Continue this restoration project. Nah, I'm good, thanks. Time to go do Crochambeau.
Here we are in Croquembouche, the busiest, most bustling district in the whole of 2 Point County. And what a lovely place it is. A glass jungle with fierce competitive corporations vie for domination, and with a weak are trampled by crowds. Never a dull moment, I can tell you. So if you want to work here, roll up your sleeves and get stuck in.
Final dungeon. So we're going to actually turn on the in-game sound again. For the first time in a while. You're insane, push-ups. It definitely wasn't Mega Man 9, Wily 1. But I do mean this. I do mean that these levels are not good levels. Because that's the point, isn't it? If you want a nice, long thing, Well, that's what stages like this are for. Or, indeed, just sandbox mode, which we haven't even looked at yet. So we've got Rotting Hill. And then we've got Pelican Wharf. Alright. Final boss. By the way, if you haven't got your guesses in, this is probably a good time to do so. I have not done the boring audio yet. I literally have not had time. So, not sure where that's going to land. Got a couple things going in the background here. Let's go start to the dessert hospital. Yeah, there's only one gimmick in this hospital. People. This place is going to get absolutely flooded with patients. Otherwise, everything is unlocked, every illness can happen, and you have tons and tons of space. Also, everything is extremely expensive. This is it, our toughest challenge yet. Thousands of people flood through Croquembauche every day. At least half of them are sick, in my opinion. The tower of Jumbo Mega Corporation looms in the distance. Jumbo Healthcare have dominated for too long. If we could build a successful hospital here, we'll cement our position as one of the top organizations in the country. Pause. Immediate pause. So as you can see, we start off with a fairly large cross-shaped thing. So lots and lots of space here. We also have lots and lots of lots. These lots cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to unlock. Our one-star goal is to raise our value to 2.5 million, retain a reputation of 70%, have a cure rate of 70%, and, my personal least favorite, cure 250 patients. Now that all sounds terrible. I want to share something with you, because I looked up what the 3-star rating is for this place. Please keep in mind that, like, for cure patients, you start over from scratch. So, like, if you cure a bajillion people and then hit rank 1, rank 2, those bajillion people don't count. Make sense? So rank 3 means the moment you finish rank 2, you then have to cure 1,000 patients, retain a cure rate of 90%, retain a reputation of 90%, and get a hospital value of 10 million. Nah, I'm good. Thanks. Okay, I was kind of hoping for like slightly different music. I'm already tired of this going. It's decent music. I'm already tired of it. So let's go back to my last dungeon playlist. Okay. 4 entryways. Nothing fancy. Let's start thinking about this. We start off with 300 grand, which is not a lot. And let's never answer Lord Hermont's question, because we already talked about that. So normally what I've been doing is I've gone ahead and do it. Oh yeah, sorry, I wanted to talk about my strategy a little bit in the last dungeon, right? I want to talk about that. So let's hang on, let's go back to the map for 1 second. Scooch back up to Rotting Hill, back down. So one of the strategies I used here, it was a very strange strategy, but it saved me a lot of stress. It was a very simple strategy. What it was hire anybody. Just anybody. I'd look at the hire tab and say, you're hired, you're hired, you're hired, you're hired. The only thing I didn't grab was anybody who had really bad traits. You know, this stuff over here. So, like, not even looking at their skills. And just rotating a large number of people. The other strategy I used for this which was different, was curing everything. So every single disease that came in, I set up a place where they could be cured, rather than focusing on one thing or another. Because the only thing was just cure people, right? Where do you live? Rotting Hill. Is that spelled that way? Excuse me, pronounced that way? Yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to mention that because that was a whole strategy I used here. And we might employ that again. No, this is the ultimate hospital cauldron. This is the final dungeon. Yeah, it was pretty much the brute force method. I was able to stay in the green for pretty much the whole time. But, oof. So yeah, anyways, so for once, because of the sheer cavalcade of people we're going to get, and we are, I'm going to go ahead and set up a central reception, something I almost never do. And we're going to center it correctly. There we go. Yeah, I know, right? We can buy it and get rid of it. We're just going to have receptions in all directions. I don't care if it looks good. We're past that point now. We no longer care if it looks good. What's the temperature here? This is a cold hospital. Yeah, could you imagine an entire hospital being one story? And I mean, obviously, like, small hospitals, sure, but I mean, like, a whole hospital just being like this. Coffee maker, very important. What are our initials? You know what? You're good. You're hired. I don't want anyone with research. Get out of here. Get out of here. Oh, that's bad. Argumentative and toilet rage. What else we got? Weak bladder, argumentative, and fast learner. Good evening, Dark Ryan. Oh, we'll grab Miss Weak Bladder there. Likes to... Argumentative! Gross. Okay, so we'll hire you. Actually, no, Chill Penguin. This is taking a little bit longer than I thought. Not by much. I actually have already looked up a few strategies for this level, and one thing I remember distinctly by memory is make sure to have at least 8 janitors. And I'm just like, oh, okay. I mean, I'm ready to put the game down. I was ready to put the game down, I'd say, honestly, the moment I hit these last 3 stages. I've not been impressed with any of them. Like, God, I forget the stage. The Wharf. Pelican Wharf broke me. That was awful. That was just awful. Alright, let's get everyone so I can actually tell who's whom. Janitors. Assistants. Nurses. Doctors. We're just locked in now. That's what they are. Yeah, we finally... It took a while, but we finally hit our sunshine point. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Okay. Let's go ahead. Set up our first GP. I want to do this. We're probably going to cram a little bit. Oh yeah, that was another thing I tried at the last place. This is a brand new strategy. It seemed to work. It's a little precarious, but it does seem to work. No comforts whatsoever for any of the patients. So no hot dog stand, no no benches, no video games, no nothing. And you're probably thinking, God, that sounds horrible. The reason why is because it makes the lines go faster. In other words, rather than person going to thing and then waiting in line and then and then going and playing video games and grabbing a hot dog and all that, what they do, no push-ups. They go to the doctor, then they go to the unplace, then they go to treatment, then they leave. Yeah, it was all about optimization, just churning through people. So we're gonna do that again because we need to cure 250 freaking people. Yeah, pretty much, Joe Joker. We haven't even looked at it. I do not promise to finish this stage, by the way. If we get to the point where I'm just tired of it, then I'm just going to put it down. We can. Let's put our first GP. Right here. We're going to try something different, too. So one of the other things I've been doing is, like, I've been having a diagnosis building, and then like a treatment building, and then like a staff building. We're going to do something a little bit more modular. Let's see how that feels. And we're just going to start putting some of these buildings right next to each other. I hope so, Judo Joker. I hope people have actually been enjoying. That has been my biggest fear this entire time. With the dealer's choice concept. So we're going to have a GP, which is going to lead immediately to a pharmacy. FF4 is still inaccurate. I'm sure someone in chat could tell you which FF this is. Because it is an FF, although it's funny, because it's not composed by the guy who composes FF's music. Now, I've been skipping general diagnosis this whole time. I've heard from some people I shouldn't. Because of the nature... This is when you get into the nitty-gritty, right? Because the nature of exactly how the AI decides how to operate kind of affects optimization when you really start drilling into it. When you really start drilling down. Yep, this is Mystic Quest. So we're going to go and add a diagnosis room. We're also going to start cheating our balls off. Yeah, so first we're going to get some hand sanitizers going. Speaking of which, we need hand sanitizer everywhere. Maybe? No. Hand sanitizer? Hand sanitizer. There we go. Everywhere there'll be hand sanitizers. And we're gonna need some radiators too. Which... No points if you guess this song. We want a coffee maker in like every room. We're gonna be doing a lot of copy pasting, so I want to kind of set these up in advance. Get radiator going so they're warm. Speaking of, yep, we have an air conditioning in here. Let's get rid of that. And in here. Get the radiator. Get the radiator. There we go. Okay, so now we're just gonna remind everyone that we're the best, you know? We are the best. I don't even remember what prestige affects, actually. Specifically what it affects. But I know it's going to help. I shouldn't even say... I don't know if it's going to help. But we're going to make sure our prestige is cranked. Yes, this is definitely Taylor Swift. How did you guess? There we go. Prestige 5. Those are money. They're doing alright. Oh, there you go. Happiness buff. Well, happiness directly translates to things going better. Because employees being happy gives them greater resistance to stuff, and most importantly of all, makes it so that they get a 10% bonus treatment and diagnosis skill. Come on, give me prestige 5. Give me prestige 5. There we go. You know, I don't think I've ever heard a Taylor Swift song. I was trying to continue that joke, and I just realized I don't know what Taylor Swift sounds like. That's only 4. Alright. You know what that means? It's time to lose the posters. We're at the point now where all we care about is optimization. Kind of sucks, actually. But here we are. 250 patients? Yeah, I ain't messing around with that. More optimization. Let's see if we can save Mario 3. And we retain Mario 3. Nope. Be gone, Mario 3. Oh man, I would have to sit and think about the last Super Bowl I actually watched. When was the last time the 49ers were in the Super Bowl? It would have been 90s somewhere. Okay, Prestige 5. We get like 2 posters. So for luck, we're just going to go with some... You know what? This is the final boss. We're going to put the Imperial symbol up here. And you know what? I was going to put Robotnik down, but actually, I think I have a much better idea. Oops. Which I already unlocked, bro. Whoops. Whoops again. So many whoopses. See you around, Chocolate Rob. There we go. Welcome to the hospital. Why does it look so washed out? Oh, it's just reflective. That's why. Okay. So I still need to hire people, of course. We could do both. Actually, you know what? Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea. Let's... No. Ah. There we go. And thank you, Kennexcount. Alright, there we go. We're good to go now. We need to hire more people. Now you're probably thinking, I thought you said you were going to get flooded. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just waiting. There's nobody so far, which honestly is probably a good thing. Because that gives me time to get new applicants. Speaking of which, I'm going to think about my marketing department right now. I know that sounds strange to, like, lunge into that immediately. But, we're going to need to hire people faster than they're spawning, near as I can tell. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't. Let's not prepare for the future. Let's play more adaptive. Lol, Judo Joker. Do we have an upgrader right now? We don't. In 5 days, we might have an upgrader. There's no patients! I was lied to! This is a dead hospital. That would be funny. That might be an interesting challenge. It's like, alright, you basically get no patients. Make it work! Will be a good objective for a place with very few patients. Oh, there's our first patient. Welcome to the crew.
Please stay still.
Angry. Sure, you're hired. I can live with hangry. I don't care what you are. Curing very specific. There's our marketer. And not a good thing. Alright. Do I have anyone I could train now? Yes, actually. Alright. Let's get a training setup going. Let's put it right there for right now. Normally, I'd train Ghostbuster first, but honestly, I need to be able to upgrade my stuff, and I need to be able to upgrade my stuff now. So instead, we're going to go with mechanics. Get both those people trained in that. Let's go. Hey, J. Palmer, welcome to the final dungeon. Oh, that would be awful, Colgrim. Yeah, this is it. There's actually one more thing we're going to do after this, so I'm not shutting out the guessing game. Also, I legitimately anticipate we'll be here for a few hours. Feel free to jump on the VOD comments and tell me how long this ended up being. Speaking of which, hello from the past. Okay, we're up to 2 patients. Woohoo! We have a spare doctor? We do, actually. Okay. Don't like or subscribe. I mean, you can if you want to. Don't. I hate that. Hate that crap. Well, we're screwed, J. Palmer. That's all I can say about that. Funny thing, I actually designed that rug like 2 days ago. Expecting to, you know, use it yesterday. And then, you know, that didn't happen. I've never hit the bell icon, legitimately, for all the channels I follow. But then again, I don't go to the front page of YouTube. I go to my subscription feed. We have a cure rate of 70%. Mission accomplished. Now we just need to cure 249 people successfully. I think it's like how it notifies you have a new video or something. I don't even know, honestly, at this point. YouTube is such a freaking mess. There's no patience. I'm getting started slightly worried here. Yeah, we're losing money. I know that. Thank you. There you go. It sends notifications, which, again, is pointless to me.
The bluish car. Your car is being taken for cubing. That's a bluish car for cubing.
Because, you know, I just check my subscription feed and say, hey, someone new put out a video. Well, I don't know, like once a year, Jay Palmer. It's pretty infrequent. I'm sorry, Judo Joker, because I complained about that constantly. I didn't realize it pissed you off. Let's just get some heat going in here. Just randomly. All of those can be subsumed into buildings later. We're doing decently so far. I'm worried. This is scaring me. The last two levels were awful. Like, what in the world? Okay, what are you? You're hired, is what you are. You are also hired. Stupid and weak bladder. Minus 10% happiness. But they have plus 10% happiness. They're also faster, can upgrade, repair. But, like, they... You know what? No, you're not good. Go away. There's our first death. Wow, that did not take long, did it? 27 minutes. I'm going to say no. I'm going to be picky. Also, I don't have a staff room yet, I just noticed. Let's build a new staff room here, shall we? Just make it a 3x3. We're going to kind of standardize our 3x3s for a minute here. How do you... how do you complain about monetization in a way that monetizes? Yeah, by the way, we're at 25% death rate already. Jesus Christ. So here's some snacks, here's some energy drinks. Here's a bin. Here's a hand sanitizer. There's that. So we haven't looked at this tab much, but you can see like their actual needs, and they do need drink, food, toilet, and happiness. But interestingly enough, they do not have boredom. Which I mentioned because the only thing that the video game does is reduce boredom. For staff. So there's actually, as weird as it sounds, no benefit to, sorry, I was trying to identify which song this was, to putting a video game thing in the break room. So no video games for the staff. I will give you coffee. If you prefer coffee over, you know, energy drinks. Thank you. This beer star. Like I mentioned, I designed it a couple of days ago. Where's coffee? Where's coffee? Where's the friggin' coffee? Where's the coffee? Am I blind? There it is. Oh, okay. That's fine. They've already got heat. And now we've got to make sure they know they're the best. Because that increases their happiness. You got this as Mirror Which, are you doing normal? I don't know what's unlocked yet. I haven't even logged into WoW since the patch. I really hope they've fixed things because, good lord. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean DJ Palmer. I'm sorry. Do other hospitals still generate revenue and can you operate when you work in a different hospital? No to both. Hospitals get paused when you're not at the hospital screen. So it's just not active. I think it's good or bad. Good. Don't mistake me. The idea of running 15 concurrent hospitals is certainly interesting. In some games, which this is not. Remember how I mentioned how this game kind of has a slow, soft enrage built into it? And eventually, virtually any hospital will fail unless massively micro-optimized. Imagine, like, the further into the game you get, the more your hospitals are just falling apart behind you. Now, yeah, if you could get some kind of passive income from the others, that'd be kind of neat. Like, just a little something. I mean, you could already switch back to previous hospitals to, for example, research things. Or to to farm KP, which you can then use to unlock things. Or yeah, maybe get buffs from it or something, I don't know. But yeah, keeping up with 15 screens, 15 levels at the same time would be absolutely insane. And I know it'd be cool, though. Even in this game, with the way this game works, imagine having to keep up with, let's say, 3. Maybe 2. 2 or 3. And, like, they're both running. Good luck. And that's pretty much it. Okay, so... like I said earlier, we're going to kind of build as we need here. Yeah, 2-point hospital. Yeah, exactly. 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5. That's frustrating, but I can make that work. What we'll do is we'll put you in the corner like this. Yeah, exactly. Make it like a high mode. Or high mode? A hard mode. Words are hard mode, apparently, today. Ugh. And then an event happens and Death Spiral. I understand that Death Spirals are kind of the nature of games like these. That's a normal thing. I was thinking about that yesterday. Because there's no reason to get rid of the concept of a Death Spiral, but there is design to a good Death Spiral. Have some coffee. You're the best. Hey, be good fate. The best part is Schrodinger's Dark will either be reasonably long, because I'll be moving, very short, because I won't, or pretty long, because things will go even worse than I thought they did. I know that limits it to literally every possible option. That's why we call it Schrodinger's. See, that would be cool, Colroom. But again, possibly outside the bounds of this. Bounds? The bounds of this? Alright, let's get our 2x3 toilet going. Weirdest disease in this game? Oh, jeez. Do I go with the mummy curse? Do I pick the thing that makes your head shrink into your torso? I don't know, my weirdo meter was broken the moment people showed up with light bulbs on their heads. Instead of their heads. So I'm probably the wrong person to ask this. Yeah. Yeah, their head goes... Bloop. Okay, I'm going to be really efficient about this because I want this to be really... Hang on, do we know if prestige affects patient happiness or just staff happiness? I'm still going to do it, regardless of what the answer to my question is. Yeah, lightheadedness is probably the weirdest one. It was just, oh, that's the kind of game I'm in for. Huh. Yep. Throw away the old light bulb. I mean, head. Gosh, I'm so close to, I'm so close to Prestige 5. No. Hang on. I can do this. I can do this. Let's squeeze. Let's try and squeeze these, because I think they're not as squeezed as they could be. Excellent, Tustin Howard. Oh, yep, we need more squeezing. Also, if anybody can guess the name of the game this song comes from, I will put $3 towards a game of your choice. Come on, can I squeeze that a little bit more? Oh. Damn. Can I squeeze this in more? I need like one more. Yes, it's the Star Trek game. It's a very well-known game. Tails? Oh god, Tails! Damn, looks like I can't have rank 5. Or, yeah, rank 5. Oh well. Oh, look at how close that is. That's so frustrating. It's just a short loop, PB Good Fate. It's already looping. Is there anything I could put like freestyle like in the middle of the bathroom just to make people happy? It just lowers their happiness value, which has a knock-on effect on basically everything. This is FF4, but which version? There are... not counting the GBA version. 4 versions of this song. I give up. We have a shrink. Go deal with that. I'm just gonna keep on keeping on. How's our training?
Please urinate accurately.
So who can be trained right now? So one other thing I discovered in the last stage is that anybody who is a doctor or a nurse who is not a GP can benefit from happiness. So what that means is anybody who isn't a GP is going to learn happiness. I realize what that sentence sounds like. Oh, it's terrible. Push-ups. This is still only the second worst move I've ever had. The goal for the new place is for it to be a minimum of a 6-year place. We'll see. I've heard that before. The worst move was when I moved from California to Kansas. That was a move that involved my mother getting almost fatally ill. We lost our cat on the way, probably to coyotes. I like to think that he actually found the nearby house we were at and didn't get eaten by coyotes, but he probably got eaten by coyotes. Ended up sleeping in the U-Haul. That was fun. We lost a lot of stuff in that move. I lost my sword. I lost half my magazines. And yeah, I lost a ton of my games too. That's also right after my mother forced me to sell my NES stuff, which I've referenced a few times. Cop pulled us over because my mother was so fatigued from driving too long that she was swerving on the road on a giant U-Haul. It was also a very long, very boring trip, and this would have been 1990... Hang on. 95 or 96, one of the two. So our options for stuff to do were somewhat limited, is how I'm going to describe that. Three by 3. So let's go ahead and put this here. Like I said, I'm just going to kind of modularize it. Yeah, so imagine just being in, you know, big old U-Haul for, I don't know, it took us like 3 days to do the trip overall. We did stop to sleep twice. So I think that qualifies as 3 days. Is this? Yes, it is. Okay, so let's put this over here. Put that over there. Get some heat going. Get some coffee going. And I need to do that too. Don't let me forget to do that thing, which I'm not going to tell you just to curse myself. I have almost fallen asleep driving once, and I literally nearly died from it. My sister can verify this because she was driving right in front of me and was on the phone with me when it happened. We were just chatting to keep ourselves entertained during the drive because it was a very long drive. And I almost... So you know how... Yeah, nothing happened. I'm fine. But like... Oh, I mean, you meant you. Sorry. Sorry, Jay Palmer. So you know how there's like... Bridge? Well... When you go onto a bridge, there's the side rails. I don't know what to call that. Big old concrete walls on either side of the bridge as part of the bridge's construction. And I was going right for one of them at like 60, 70 miles an hour. Just right into it. And she's like, wah! And I'm like, wah! And I swerved, and I have good reflexes, so I was fine. But, I did nearly die. In my defense, I hadn't slept for, a week at that point. I think that was actually day 8 of me not sleeping at that point. At all. By the way, just no sleep. Okay, so that requires a doctor. Ooh, what are you? Hangry and tires easily. In a hotel. Oh, push-ups. No. Okay, so first of all, hotels are expensive as hell, even if you get an extended stay. Like, way more expensive than rent. By quite a bit. Oh, that'd be awful, Colin. Second of all, hotel internet is garbage. I couldn't stream. I could barely browse the internet at that. Dull. No. It would be realistic. Litterer, but motivated. And it's a double repairer. Sure. Yeah, real employer mode. That would be a cool, like, optional hard mode. You can't see traits. New nurse, which we want. This guy. I'm debating if I want someone who is both lazy and hangry. No. You know what? No, I don't. I, don't know what that means, Jay Palmer, so I don't know. Ward emergency. Well, hang on. Let's get a ward going. We need an award-winning ward here. I mean, I'm sure I would have died. I was not going a short speed. Or short, isn't it? A slow speed. And that's fine. It's not... I'm not trying to talk it up. It woke me up. The adrenaline woke me right up. She was a little freaked out by that at the time. Like, we joke about it now. At the time, it was just like, oh my god. Actually, let's do it like this. It's not going to make any more room, though. 3 is a good number, though. Let's go and squeeze one more in there. And then hand sanitizer. I already put that in there. And now we need to make sure... Oh, coffee. Actually, they need coffee. They need coffee. There you go. Oh, yeah. Really getting into the final boss terminology now. Gonna make sure these people know everything that's wrong with them. There you go. Here's your monitor. On some interstates here, there actually are roadside stop spots, which are exactly what they sound like. It's a place where you just park up and you just chill. You can fall asleep or rest or have a picnic or whatever. It is exactly what it sounds like. It's a place to pause driving for long, long drives. More likely on the really long stretches of interstate, of which there are several. This is the best ward right here. This is the best. There we go. Be happy. You don't really find that in city or suburban areas. Like if I were to drive, I don't know, I think about 2 hours north of here, I might find a rest area, but not anywhere nearby. On the interstate, I mean, on the. What should I figure? Remember the new policy. No comfort. You get in, you get your diagnosis, you get out. We are going to want dedicated GPs at some point. We only have one who even qualifies.
All outpatients, kindly get out.
Yeah, but oh right. Speaking of, we also want to fast track. Yeah. And I think we're going to lower... No, I need to successfully cure people. That's the whole goal. So I'm not going to lower the diagnosis rate. The song you just listened to is called Night Song. It's from World of Warcraft. It came out in Cataclysm specifically. But the motif is in several things. Ward emergency, yes!
Arriving for the ward.
I have a nurse who can handle that, right? Like, say, you. Oh, you're being taught right now? Nope. Oh, there. Hey, come here. Yeah, one Mega Man song of like 70,000. I have a bunch of Mega Man songs here. That's a ward thing. That's not great, but whatever. Okay, I'm really disappointed by the number of patients we're getting so far, by the way. The last dungeon had way more patients than this. Well, reasonably, Jay Palmer? I think we'll go with reasonably. That's true. This is the Mega Man song everybody recognizes. Okay, let's start training our first... Or do I want to be greedy? I should probably be greedy. You're not hired. You're hired. Oh god, that would be awful. If, like, every time a patient spawns, like, there's a small counter in the background that goes up by, like, 0.1. 10 patients later. It's like, I'm sorry, Jay Palmer. I have exposed you to the greater body of Mega Man. A more horrifying fate I cannot imagine.
May we request that all outpatients kindly get out.
I don't have that on this playlist because this is Final Dungeon playlist. But I know the song you're talking about, and yeah, it's a great song. Oh my god. Okay, I've been trying not to take headache pills, but my head is not doing me favors right now. We're just gonna do that. Also start spending money on upgrades, on treatment. Specifically treatment. And that, actually. It doesn't matter. Oh, I guess it does matter. I prefer, hang on. I prefer ibuprofen over acetaminophen. Acetaminophen screws with my liver. Which is probably one of the strangest sentences I've said lately, but it's true.
To prepare drug mixer.
We have no Ghostbusters right now. I just noticed that. That's dangerous. Sleepy and expensive. Pass. Funny, cries at sitcoms, and a unlicensed shrink. So replaying Secret of the Stars forever or replaying Starfield forever? I'll take Secret of the Stars. And then immediately kill myself. Exactly. Secret of the Starfield is boring. If you kill yourself in hell, you got a super hell. Or you just go away. One of the two. That's true. Starfield would also break my PC, so I'm good. I planned this all out. Okay, we're making money again. That's good, that's good. I've got this giant reception area. I totally don't need it. Where's my patience? I thought I was going to get 1 billion patience. I should not say that. I have just turbo jinxed myself.
Please keep audio on at all times. Thank you.
Can I train pharmacy in anyone? No. I can't train much right now, honestly. Ugh. The big one here is cure 250 patients, and that is going to take a hard minute. Like, regardless of any other failure spirals, that's going to be a thing. What's up, Jay Palmer? This place is called Crocambouche. It's French. But it's level 15, if that helps you find it. No, I didn't, Jay Palmer. I never will. Expensive and grumpy. Pass. Motivated, cheap, and charming. Yes, please. Oh, Ghostbuster. Short temper, but you know what? I don't care. You're hired. We need a Ghostbuster. Okay, so that's going to be a 4x4. I actually thought I did mention it. 1, 2, 3... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I suppose I didn't, since you're commenting on it. So let's get this in here. Hang on. Oh, right. Yeah, no, I think that says everything it needs to. It is the best summary for a game I have ever given. I stand by that. Do not buy this game. What the? I moved at the last second. I kind of wish I could cheat. Not in the sense that you mean like $1 million money or whatever. No, I mean I wish I could cheat and like make it so that all those custom posters we made have the same like prestige effect, or like just like tons and tons of prestige effects, so I could get rank 5 and like have this place actually look nice. Remember, do not drink Celsius. Celsius is bad. Speaking of, I need to finally go around and put all these fire hydrants that I've been meaning to put out here. Put it kind of close to the door in all cases. So it's only stuff with, which is equipment, which can set on fire. So any room with equipment. Oh, there's already one there. And there, and I think that's everything right now. I keep calling them fire hydrants because I'm a moron. They're actually fire extinguishers. They're exactly what they sound like. They help you get rid of fires. Oh, by the way, it was the Pixel Remaster version, DARPA. You were correct. I remembered because this is not. Only specific objects can catch on fire. It's always this stuff. This kind of stuff can catch on fire. Anything that requires maintaining can catch on fire. What was our success rate on that guy? 82% chance.
We'll be right back.
Oh, speaking of which, there actually is something I want to add. But first, 5 out of 6 cures. Not actually bad. Let's add a snack machine. Like here. And let's add a... Yeah, we actually have a shockingly good cure rating right now. Knock on wood. Okay, drink machine. And then snack machine. And I guess a trash bin. Like right there. Yeah, no, trust me, that's high for us, Colgrim.
Someone important is arriving.
What? Nobody important comes to my hospital. Oh, there's another death. So now our death ratio just went up, Colgrim. I blame you for this. I just want to be clear about that. We were doing fine until you're like, you know, it's a nice hospital you got there, law. Be a shame if anything would have happened to it. And I'm like, no, please. Not the hospital. Just double checking that everything's prestiged up. Looks like it is. I'm just here to sell you an opportunity. An opportunity to lose less money. Alright, while I'm... Oh, wait, hang on. Let's check our hires. Grumpy and evil. No, I'm good. Has objectively bad opinions. I think episode 1 is the best of all the Star Wars films. You're hired. Actually, how many janitors are we up to? We're up to 7 janitors. Oof. You're fired. What? Why? Because you're stupid. This person cannot learn as quickly, but has a completely filled out tree, so who cares? You're hired. You're not. Oh, those are terrible. Alright. These are really bad traits. I don't want either. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Lost and found report. Green sock. Medium to large hole.
Yeah, could you imagine putting someone in charge of medical practices who is against vaccines? Why is that person cold? I will take episode 9 over the Christmas special, and I mean that, because episode 9 has good gameplay. It has several things that are actually legitimately good and enjoyable about it. There's nothing enjoyable about the Christmas special. I know we like to meme on it, but in my honest opinion, it is not so bad it's good. It is just bad. It is, in fact, a specific type of bad. It is awkward. It is awkward and uncomfortable. Alright, I already answered that, J. Palmer. The gameplay. Palpatine flinging lightning at an entire fleet. I can't think of anything now. Everything to do with Kylo Ren, honestly. He just kind of knocks it out of the park for such a terrible role. Sure, Jay Palmer. Anyways, the horse charge scene was neat. I did actually like that. Very, very Abrams kind of a scene. Of course, I can't think of anything else all of a sudden off the top. You've challenged me, and I can't actually think of any of those scenes that really stuck out for me. Killing Chewbacca, that was a great scene. Yeah, the fleet itself, actually. No, not that fleet, the other fleet.
Assistant wanted in reception.
I loved the way they modulated Ian McDiarmid's voice. That sounds like a weird thing to comment on, but I actually mean that with total sincerity. Because I really loved the way he sounded in that film. I wanted to praise the sound designers and the sound engineers because they did some work. And he already has an amazing voice. And they made him sound even better. Hey, Dakota. Yes, Star Wars has had good sound design going as far back as A New Hope. Nothing new there. Did I put coffee in there? I did. She's even having coffee right now. Yes, yes. Ooh, ooh. Really, Jay Palmer? Ooh. Sure, you're hired. You're also hired. Should be all the assistants we need, actually, at this point. And this could be our last janitor. In fact, I think it will be. No, actually, you're too expensive. Do I get a better doctor? Ooh. Gross and weak bladder. No, go home. Let's go ahead and hire you. I knew back in, like, the books, Jay Palmer, I knew before episode 1 came out, put simply. In fact, funny story, a Star Wars fan community I was a part of had a formal debate about whether Palpatine was the Emperor. Whether Senator Palpatine. His name's actually in the script, believe it or not. I know they never say it in the films. But yes, they had we had a formal debate as to whether Senator Palpatine was Emperor Palpatine. And I know that sounds strange, but it was a whole debate we had. And what's really funny is I was on the side of course he's the same person. But I'm the one who came up with the winning argument for the other side, which they never used. So we ended up winning that particular debate. Whoops. Let's get our second GP office going. Yeah, we're just going to put it right here. The argument's actually really, really simple. Clones have been a long-standing aspect of Star Wars history. They go back to as far as A New Hope with the Clone Wars. And that's pretty much the debate. The idea was that Sidious was a clone of Palpatine, or vice versa. Most likely Sidious was the clone. And then Palpatine was the one who was the legitimately well-meaning senator who was just trying to do his job, and Sidious was the one who actually learned how to use the Force and became a Dark Lord and became the Emperor. Sidious then pushes Palpatine, the good and beloved senator, to get elected Chancellor, and then become head of the Republic, at which point Sidious replaces him and becomes the evil Emperor and starts twisting the Republic into the Empire. That was the argument. And yeah, that would have made sense, it would have worked, but I didn't agree with it. Like I said, that wasn't my argument. I just came up with that argument for the other side. They didn't go with that. They had really dumb arguments. Like the others. I don't feel good about winning that debate. You know what that's like. Because it's like, yeah, God, what was their chief argument? Was that, well, you can't really see his face in the holograms. Or some stupid thing like that. And it's just like, guys, that can't be your argument. Come on. You can do better than that. Like, I wound it up against the wall like this. Yeah, I used to do debate club. For those of you not aware of how debate works, and that's why I keep using that word, there's rules. There's specific rules about what kind of arguments you can enter, how much time you can spend on a specific point, whether or not you can belabor a point. There's all kinds. There's a structure to it. It's a game, just to put it very simply. Which is the fun of it. It's just another game that you play. Nope, same actor was not something that would be brought up, and honestly would not count anyways. I'm gonna spoil a movie here that nobody's ever heard of. It's called Return of the Joker. It's a DCAU movie. Excellent film, if you ever feel the desire to watch it. So if you do ever feel the desire to watch that film, mute me now, because I'm going to spoil it, because it's the only way I can make my point. Sorry. Is this Shining Force Neo again? No, this is Mega Man X6. Yeah, Joris Sibioth. I actually remember how to pronounce it better than I do how to spell it. Go figure. So, it is a very good film. I highly recommend it. So, in that film, it's about the return of the Joker, and the Joker's back. Meanwhile, unrelated factoid, Mark Hamill is brought back to play the evil corporate bad guy. So, spoilers in 3, 2, 1. So, evil corporate bad guy is not the Joker. But what's funny is they actually... the way I phrased that gave it away too easily. But to be very honest with you, it was actually pretty well done in the movie itself. Because the whole movie makes the bad guy out to be this, like, sniveling asshole who's just kind of coincidentally helping the Joker gang with everything that's going on. But again, the point is the movie makes clear that you are not supposed to like this person. And so the audience doesn't like him. And the moment it becomes clear that they're not sure who exactly is the Joker... Oh yeah, very similar facial structure. And so... the Joker's back. We don't know who he is, and there's this asshole voiced by Mark Hamill, who is just he's just the worst. So, a lot of people, and I'm going to include myself in this, when I first saw the film, automatically assumed that evil corporate, I don't remember his name, evil corporate guy was the Joker. Nope. So no, to get back to your point, Ben, the same actor does not count. Besides, again, clones. Did I say hi to Evo? Hi, Evo. Welcome to the final dungeon. Wow, our first injections patient, they're already dead. 87% chance of success. I'm starting to think that the game just hates me. Speaking of which, let's get more upgrades going for our devices. Yeah, it looks a little rough and haphazard, but that's just because this building needs to be moved. So I'm actually going to do that really quick. Because this actually needs to be over here, like this. And now that's better, because now I've got room over here for a small 3x3. And I've already got my 4x4 over here. Look, 20% chance of death is really high for this game, I'm just saying. Other management games I'd love to review. So I have the spreadsheet. There we go. And in this spreadsheet, I keep track of length of game, genre, and whether or not it's in early access. Right? Okay. So let's see. Management sims I would like to review in no particular order. Empire of Sin, Haunted Chocolatier, 2 Point Campus, the sequel to this very game, 2 Point Museum while we're on the subject. Railway Empire, that's actually funded. Let's see, and then we've got... Do I need to... Let me just sort this. Make this easier. Sort by genre. There we go. Okay, that's much better. Noble Fates, Superhero Simulator, The Pale Beyond, Mind Over Magic, 2 Point Museum. I just mentioned that 2 Point Hospital, but we're playing that right now. Is that actually the list? That can't be the whole list. Is that it? It feels like that's less than it should be. Although, maybe it's under the Builder stuff. I might be thinking of Builder games, because I have way more Builder games. I've got Star Miner, I've got Fata Deum, I've got Astronomics, I've got Captain of Industry, Foundry, Star Rupture, Lightyear Frontier, Nova Lands, Earth from Another Sun, Acres, Memoriopolis, Airborne Empire, Cosmeteer, Kingmakers, Era 1, Starbirds, Outworld Station, Flotsam, and the aforementioned Railborn, excuse me. I've also got City Builders. Do we count City Builders? Because then we've got Whiskerwood, Wandering Village, Dark Switch, Timberborn, Before We Leave, Banished, Synergy, Bulwark, Falconeer Chronicles, Kaiserpunk, Earth of Orin, Nova Roma, Manor Lords, Foundation, Laysara, All Will Fall, Citadelum, Ixion. Hang on. We've also, while we're here, we've also got Busbound, Galciv 4, Bomb Rush, Cyberpunk. No, that's not it. Sorry, I meant The Altars. Excuse me. Subterrane Mines of Titan. I'm done. We're done. We're done. Yeah, it is a decent chunk, I'm not gonna lie. I love these kind of games, and I've been wanting to play them for a while, and I tend to not get interest from you guys. No offense, I understand completely. So, you know, a lot of those games have been slowly piling up on the I'd like to try them list. There's one I wanted to play that I don't anymore, if that counts. It was an underground one. If Kara Whitenose was here, she could tell you what it's called. It was an underground one, which looked cool, looked promising, and then they just bailed on it. They just said, nope. And that sucked, because that was a cool idea. It was like an underground Satisfactory, but very simply. Uncertain, Pientriox. They said that it didn't sell as much as they wanted, but it's still in early access. So, think of that what you will. So, Evo says, so you know how there's no true RNG in a game? What? We haven't invented quantum computing? Can it be messed up how a game doesn't suit RNG calculations? Absolutely. So, there's 3 ways that can be messed up to my knowledge. The first is Mr. Red gives me a sub. Thank you, Mr. Red, for messing up the RNG. Always appreciate you. I will jot that down. If I could find my thing where I jot stuff down. Here we go. Hang on, I'm going to answer Colgrim's question before I answer Evo's question. Thief, Shadow Hearts, Covenant, Dead Rising 1R. Thank you again, Mr. Red. To answer Colgrim's question, I do think early access is more good than bad. Early access is kind of another filter, another vector, might even be a better word. I'm gonna hang on. I've got 3 things to say. Another filter, which means more possibilities of more good games getting made, but like each additional game that gets made thanks to early access that's worth a damn means like 10 games that aren't and 100 games that never get made, right? Those ratios are probably off, but you get the idea. So I still think that's a net gain, because without early access, there's a pretty good chance that that one game that was worth a damn would never get made, right? We lose the 10 games that are bad, we lose the 100 games that never finish, but we also lose the one game that was worth a damn. And yeah, and scam games are always scam games. That's whatever. I don't think early access did anything other than add another vector for scamming. We had asset flips before early access. I remember Steam Greenlight. So, second thing I want to do is I want to address Blade Taval. He gave me an idea, and I actually did use this in the last hospital. It's a temporary setup What we're going to do is right now we need a bunch of shrink. So we're just going to copy our shrink place and we're just going to plonk it down over here. Crudely. Just kind of plonk it right over here. We might not keep it. We probably won't keep it, but we do have 2 shrinks.
Anything deposited in a bin is now hospital property. No rummaging.
So we're just going to, yeah, plonk that down. And have our second shrink go over there, which we have. And yeah, we're going to temporarily push through these people because they give us money. It's actually funny. These emergencies, that's what they're actually called, are great. I didn't realize until halfway through this game how beneficial emergencies are. We'll get to that in a second. Because an emergency means a bunch of people who you already know what they're sick with. There's no need for anything about the diagnostic phase. No need to go to a GP. No need to go to a diagnostician. You just go straight to treatment. So, treatment, money, gone. That's awesome. That is just a great financial boon to get an emergency. So anytime an emergency shows up, I try to fulfill it as quickly as possible because I'm almost assuredly going to make my money back just on that one emergency. So, epidemics. Without DLCs, I was curious about this. There are only 2 epidemics that exist in the base game, and they are mummification and exercise. That's a shame because I think this is a neat little feature. They do get a little old for very, very, very long maps, I'm not going to lie, because it's just the 2. But they are bonus rep, and most importantly of all, bonus money. You can also just take a rep hit and say, I don't feel like dealing with this. So this one is mummification. There's one. Now I want to answer Evo's question. Which is why I immediately had to sneeze. Good lord. Ugh. If anyone sees any mummies, feel free to say something. There's got to be several. Right? We've got 3 infected. Oh god. Which is funny because this mummy disease is actually spread by sneezing. That's not a joke. That's actually how it spreads. Front lobby? Front lobby. Front lobby. Front lobby. What's front? What's the front lobby? Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. I'm just gonna freeze while PB Good Fate tells me or whatever he's pointing at. Okay.
We're close to award season.
No deaths! Oh, there's one. There's one. Right there. This is what it looks like, by the way. Right there. Speaking of which, that's a clown person. Yeah. It's all lobbies! So, hang on. Let's get a declowning going while we're here. Because we're going to need one in a minute. 4x4. No problem. I have spaces for 4x4s over here. Wait, that one's the front? Or that one's the front? Which one's the front? Sorry. You know what I should legitimately do? Just for funsies, just while we're here. Yeah, let me scooch this over here, scooch this over here. Let's get the basics going. Coffee. Very important. Hygiene. That thing. And then let's make it the best. The best. No, I've got an idea, but give me a second. It's gonna take me a second. We're the best. We're the best. There we go. Okay. I mean, you could do it naturally, but you know what that takes, Blade Space. You just need to make the room bigger. Give me 1 second. So we could do that. I mean, there's other wall items, but the thing is, so the weird thing about these wall items is they can go behind other objects, like posters and other stuff can't. So these are kind of unique in that they're perfectly suited to squeeze into cracks. If you were paying attention, that's how we were able to get wall awards behind the toilets. Let's see. Yeah, and on Windows. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did that on purpose. I would be shocked if they didn't do that on purpose. Okay, so let's do a Final Fantasy wing, the StarCraft wing, the Robotnik wing, and the Star Wars wing. So hang on a second. Let's make a rug. There we go. Oh, that's a terrible picture. Hang on. Maybe not Star Wars. Maybe something else. Oh, I know what we'll do for our 4th wing. So there's our Final Fantasy wing. Or actually, you know another one I could do. I have it here. Which I do. There we go. There's our Final Fantasy wing. Voted Best Hospital in 2018. Several times. Oop. There we go. And now, so we can just kind of replace that. There's the Final Fantasy wing. If I can see properly. There we go. Still the best in 2018. And now the Mario. You know, of all these wallpapers I've made, this is unironically the best one I've ever made. I still love this thing. I have a poster and a blanket with this printout on it. I am very proud of it. Oh, whoops. That's the wrong type of thing. Oh, shoot. Took a long time to make, too. For marketing purposes, every award must be placed on the walls. Okay, so we'll put the Mario wing over here. In quadruplicate. There we go. There. So, now we still need to find... I still need to answer poor Evo's question. Hang on, let me see if I can find these two people. Right. So there's 3 ways to screw up RNG, right? Why was I answering? What was your actual question? You were like, "Dear Laura, you suck and I hate you." Can it be messed up? Right. So, the first is we flagging. The second is deterministic. And, oh god, what was the third? I suddenly don't remember the third way RNG can get screwed up. Well, let's talk about those two. So we flagging. Oh man, there's a story behind that. I will not bore you with the full totality of it, but all you need to know is that there was this thing which players insisted, which was a real thing, in Asheron's Call, which is an MMO. And they insisted that some people, enemies would just target them over everyone else, even like beyond reasonability. Now, it was hard to gauge that properly because in Asheron's Call there was no aggro. So what was supposed to happen in that game was that enemies would target a random thing. Okay, now we have 5 infected. So it's spreading somewhere. Oh. Okay, so you have it. It's got to be one of these people over here. Yeah, no tanking. There was no tanking. So it was just like, what the hell is got? We have 5 infected again. Where's it spreading? Oh. No, those are just people thumbsing up. It's got to be these guys. It's got to be these guys. Whatever. So I'm going to finish it. So the Wii flag, all the players insisted, and for like I think a solid year, players kept getting feedback over and over. No, the Wii flag exists. I keep getting targeted, and it got to the point where someone did a very specific test on a boss. So back in Asheron's Call, players had collision with enemies. So they made a wall of players and then had a player stand back here doing nothing. And then everyone else would be attacking the boss and doing damage, and the boss would completely ignore everyone and constantly try to kill the one person who was standing back doing nothing. I'm like, what the hell is this? What is going on? Turns out that the script for every enemy, which was supposed to randomly, it's supposed to look at most recent target, like most recent attacked by, how much damage has been done, and then just like a random element, right? And then it decides who it attacks. So enemy will be like, oh, I'm gonna hit you, and then it would decide if it's gonna hit you again, and then it would hit you, and then it's gonna decide if it hits you, and then I'm gonna change, and then it hits you, and that's how enemies were designed. The Wii flag, I forget the specific as how it's coded, but when a character was created, every character that's created obviously has to have various variables attached to them to identify what those players are. That's this player, right? Obvious stuff. One of those things could interact with that RNG by virtue of having a similar variable naming. So, like, I forget the specifics, but it was like if you had a capital N in your third digit or something like that in your name when you made your character, then you had the Wii flag. And the player and the enemies would constantly skip over the random targeting thing because the random targeting thing would always refer to that variable. I'm actually screwing up this description, so please forgive me because it's been a few years since I remember really actually interacting with the Wii flag. But that's the rough basics of how this worked. So an unrelated variable completely destroyed the RNG because nobody really recognized it was there. And it was such a rare circumstance for the longest time. The devs didn't believe the players. Some of the players didn't believe the players. It's like, oh yeah, huh? You just got unlucky. You know how that is. You know how that feels. Oh, hello. You're infected. Oh, and so are you. Okay, you know what? I bet all of these people are infected. Let's just give all of these people a vaccine. Okay. Yep, okay. They were all infected. So there's 2 people who aren't. Oh, they fixed it. They had to add a whole other variable to track that, but they fixed it. So that's one way you can screw up RNG, is having a specific variable just completely flagged incorrectly and drawing from the wrong information. The second way, which is a little bit more common, is deterministic RNG. Speedrunners and tassers live and breathe deterministic RNG because the overwhelming majority of RNG is actually a table. How big the table is depends on the game. Back in the day, it was usually 16 entries. From the SNES era onwards, it was usually from the PS1 era onwards, excuse me, it was 256 entries strong. And although there were some SNES games that had 256 RNG, and it was actually really simple. It's literally a table, and the entry for entry 1 is just 1, and the entry for entry 2 is just 2, and that's it. And then everything that called RNG in the entire game would refer to that table and say, okay, so I need to decide if this item drops. It's a 15% chance, or let's make it easy. It's a 10% chance. So if the number when this function is called is 1 to 25, then answer yes and drop this. If not, then don't. And the table, there's a script going on in the backwards. Every frame, it just says move to the next entry in the table, and that's all it does, except on entry 256, in which it says move to 1. And so every 256 frames, it's just cycling through this table, and that's RNG. That's how the games did, an inordinate quantity of games did RNG for decades. I actually don't know how they do RNG nowadays, so forgive me for my out-of-date information at this point. But this determined things like critical chance, or whether you hit or not. Basically anything that is a dice roll would look at that table. And you see why I call this deterministic RNG, because it's very easy if you do things in the same way or at the same time or whatever to always get the same result. Again, that's what speedrunners and testers require. There is an absolutely insane speedrun of Final Fantasy IV on the Japanese version, which if you ever get a chance to find it, good luck finding it, first of all. But second of all, it's worth watching, where a player basically tasks the game live, does frame timing in a full speedrun of Final Fantasy IV, and it's absolutely bonkers to watch. Like, he knows exactly which frames to stand on which tiles to make sure which battles happen or don't happen with regards to the enemy encounters. It's crazy. But anyways. But that's deterministic RNG. I suspect that there's a bit of that in Baldur's Gate 3. But I also think Baldur's Gate 3 is slanted a bit. So slanted RNG, I think that was the third thing I was going to talk about. Slanted RNG is actually a very, very common thing. Are you? Yes, you are cursed. Be cured. Which means you're probably cursed. No? No, we're missing one. We're missing one cursed person. There is our one cursed person. We have one cursed person. I don't know where they'd be. It could be anybody at this point. It could be anybody. It could even be Evo. Slanted RNG is actually very simple. It's the game is lying to you. Anybody who's played XCOM knows this, but this is actually a fairly common practice. This has 15% chance to succeed. It actually has a 50% chance to succeed. This has a 7% chance to succeed. It actually has a 0.7% chance to succeed, etc., etc. That's slanted RNG. Now, this isn't quite answering your question, but I'm listing for the sake of completion because a weirdly large number of games straight up lie on their chances of things happening to try and either deceive the player into thinking they're more lucky than they are or less lucky than they are, to make things harder, to make things easier, etc., etc. And if you told me that Baldur's Gate 3 had slanted RNG, I would believe you 100%, because I swear to God it does. And yeah, slanted RNG is a more recent invention. I didn't used to see it back in the day, but it's become more and more and more common in more modern eras. I do not see our cursed person. Where are they? Oh my God, where is this cursed person? I'm just sitting here not building my freaking hospital as I'm waiting for this curse to reveal itself. Where the hell is my curse?
If you have any questions,
Speaking of Lufia too.
why that might be.
Yeah, I also keep... up. Oh, we did it. Yay! Okay. I'm gonna accept that. Jesus Christ, Jay Palmer. I mean, yeah, that's about right. Ooh, is it lowering the temperature, Eva? Yeah, you watched. I actually, on camera, had, I think it was 4.
Disease control.
It was 3 or 4 ones from Asterion in one combat. It was during the Goblin fort. I remember it. And I'm sorry. Statistics and probability aside, the odds of getting 4 ones in a single combat from the same character is bonkers. Okay, what are we doing? I guess we're making money right now, which is great. And we're still doing pretty decently. Let's go ahead and get up our next... What do we got to hire? What are you? Please be good. Oh, you're good. You're good. That's 2 GPs now. I'd like a 3rd GP. Oh, those are good. How about you? Yes, you're hired. How many nurses do I have? 8? Expensive. I can start to get a little bit picky now. I have known a very small number of games which have a built-in physics engine, which literally roll a dice, and then just detect which number is at the top. It's really rare. In fact, I can't even... There's a game I was going to mention. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but it's very, very rare. It's something I don't almost ever see. But it's an interesting way to get around the RNG problem. Because, like, there's so many variables on rolling a dice in real life, right? That's about as random as that's getting. Yeah, exactly, Evo. Having said all that, I will admit, if you asked me my opinion, like if I was designing a game, I'd use the table. I legitimately think the table is one of the better methods to do that. It's a very long-standing, proven method, and this is going to sound weird, but I consider this a good thing. It's deterministic, which means that players can work with it if they know what they're doing and they're good enough. Jesus, Blade to Fall. What the hell? I don't need that video. But I can't. So I don't have a cardiology. Let's get cardiology. That's 3x3, right? Yes, another 3x3. We'll put this over here. Listen, I need you to quantum. I need you to invent a quantum dice roller, Evo. In Unreal. Oh yeah, Kira White knows. What was the name of that underground Satisfactory game? The one that flopped? The one that flumped? Because I told you she'd know the name of it. Because I can never remember the name. I was watching it for a while there, and then stopped. Tektronica, that was it. That had potential. I was sad about that one. It was technically finished. Yeah, that says all that needs to. 3 out of 7. Lost rep. Yay! We're a fifth of the way through the quest, by the way. Oh, wow, Eva. Secretly, there's just a chimpanzee in the back who just pushes buttons randomly. That would actually be funny. Okay, so... let's go ahead and train both of our doctors. I don't want a 3rd doctor before I commit to that. Not really, Blade Tival. It hasn't ramped up. We're really on top of things, and nothing is making me more nervous than the fact that we're really on top of things. Like, what the hell? Okay, 9 nurses. Surely that's enough. Yeah, no kidding, Judo Joker. We could get a marketing department going. I've been debating that for a minute now. I actually have a good pre-baked marketing department. There we go. What I really need to do right now is start saving money, because we're going to have to start thinking about expanding, and expanding is incredibly expensive. God damn, J. Palmer. J. Palmer, I'm going to need you to stop bilking the customers, please. I repeat, that is stop bilking the customers, please. Okay, let's do a small campaign, and I want... What do I want? I guess right now I want... let's just do pharmacy. Pharmacy is a quick and dirty way to get customers in, and paying, and cured. Really, Eva? You know what you gotta do now. Let's also start working on upgrading some of these.
Janitor, to repair drug mixer.
Sorry for taking so long, Eva. I know you hate me. I know you'd rather die. Didn't listen to me. There we go. Let's go ahead and promote you. Promote you. Yeah, I really want a third GP. I'm gonna just wait for a third GP. I'm gonna be picky. I'm gonna be picky. Okay, 10 nurses. Surely we have enough nurses by now. Surely, surely, surely. How's our money doing? Not great. I need to stop spending money. I'm gonna stop spending money for a second. Wait, how much does that cost? How much room does that cost? That's the real question. 4x4. Well, all my 4x4 slots are taken up right now. What is the cheapest one to expend? 130, 130, 130, 130. Ouch. So I have two options. I can sit here and wait for a minute. Or I can take a loan and hope that it'll pay itself off pretty quickly. So if I take the loan out, it's going to cost me 10%. So 10 grand. That'll barely be enough too. And I do mean barely. So I actually need to get the bigger loan. So that's going to cost me even more. What is this? Oh, that's the size of the loan. Let's see what our monthly is right now. It's almost the end of the month. I am seeking power to heal people. In real life, too. I love how I've got these 4 receptionists. I don't need them. I could probably do with 2. I'm going to keep them there. Why not? Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Okay, so what's our income? What's our income? End of month. Well, yeah, this is a video game, not real life. Go take a break. Go to the bathroom. Yes, push-ups. Except for Prince of Persia. I'm not looking forward to that. That's going to be awful. But everything else I'm looking forward to. Now, I'll tell you a game I'm not looking forward to. Gothic. That's going to be awful. Okay, so we're losing money right now. I think I'm gonna not take the loan. I'm just gonna chill for a minute. Gothic? I actually don't know how long Gothic's gonna be. But it's not gonna be fun. Gothic is one of those significant games. And that's pretty much why we're reviewing it, is because it is a significant game. Colorizer? I don't have a colorizer either. That's 2 diseases I can't cure right now. I'm gonna send this person home. Go home. And you also go home. I'll deal with you in a minute. I will. Thank God I'm charging double for that, Junior. Can you imagine? Oof. Gothic was one of the early, I guess, CRPGs. It's technically the inventor of the ERPG, the European RPG. Like most people point to that as the first ERPG. But either way, it is one of the earliest CRPGs. And it was really big in Europe. When the gaming industry in Europe was still not as big as Japan or the United States, is how I'm going to phrase that. I've talked about this concept before. There was, Japan had a very thriving video game industry. The U.S. gained a thriving video game industry thanks to the NES. I'm carrying a lot of people right now. And then, and then Europe was, oh yeah, right, Europe exists. Was pretty much how that went. We're still losing money a little bit. Did you know Europe exists? I know, shocking. Oh god, we just got 3 shocking patients, speaking of which. Okay, how's our money? Schwartz. Okay, we're doing okay on money. But it's going to take forever to be able to buy this freaking lot. And we're... well... but yeah, anyway, sorry. So that's the significance of Gothic. Latin America exists? What?
Doctor required in psychiatry.
I've heard really mixed opinions about the remake. In both directions. Hang on, 1 second. We don't have room. We don't have room for anything now. This is actually from Mega Man 10, but not the way you're thinking. So this is actually one of my mixes from a mix. So when Mega Man 10 came out, they released a rock album along with it, which was several rock bands doing their own remixes of songs from Mega Man 10 as part of a marketing stint. This is the this is my mix of the Rock Band mix of Wily 3, I think, from Mega Man 10. Do you remember Mega Man 4? Let's find out if that's true.
Go to the loo, lose your place in the queue.
We're still making money. Okay. What specific stage does this play for, Blade to Ball? That's... Ooh, yes. I'll take that.
For pharmacy.
And there's a fracture. So that's 4 diseases, excuse me, that we can't treat right now. I would know this one by heart, but that's because it's my second favorite song from Mega Man 4. I could try that. We could try like a game. I actually have a Mega Man playlist. I can just pop down here and try and guess. Because I don't know all of them by heart. I'd like to say I do, but I'm not a good liar. Oh, jeez. You need a break. Where's our nurses at? I never did get the doctor I wanted. These are terrible nurses. So if you're locking in with Dustman, this is... So I technically lied to you. This is stages 3 and 4 of Cossack Castle. So, stages 1 and 2 are called Northern Lights, stages 3 and 4 are called Northern Darkness. Hang on, let's hit up the Mega Man playlist, and let's just put it on random. And I'm just going to let this finish. There we go. Hello, Czar.
Assistant required in marketing.
Oh my god, a death. We haven't had one of those in a while. Legitimately, we really haven't. Our cure ratio is actually pretty high right now. So this is obviously an end game. Like, this is an ending song. I'm gonna guess Mega Man 2. Nope, I am wrong. This is 4. Jeez. I'm stupid. I didn't think it was 2.
Toilets need routine.
This is where we get rid of people's humors, Evo. Because we need to get rid of people's humors. I'm stupid. This is clearly Mega Man 4 sound font, too. Oh god, the pharmacy broke. You know what? I could probably squeeze another pharmacy in here. And by probably, I mean definitely. So let's do that. I've been thinking about doing that anyways. And we definitely have the nurses to cover it. I think it actually is Blade Temple. That's why I was confused about that. But I'm stupid. I should have recognized Mega Man 4's sound font. It is so distinct. 4 and 3 have the most distinct... Well, 4, 3, and 1 have the most distinct sound fonts by far. Okay, next song, come on. I don't know. What is this? Oh, this isn't a song. Could you give me a real song, please? So this is like everything Mega Man, so... Gothic 1 is not funded. But I was asked which one I'm not looking forward to. That qualifies. What? That's not how this song goes. Oh! I wasn't gonna get that one. I was about to say Plant Man, and I would have been wrong. So in Mega Man 6, each boss has an outro song, which is like a version of their stage, right? So I would have gotten that one wrong. J. Palmer. What aren't I looking forward to about it? It's a beloved classic that sucks, Judo Joker. What is there to enjoy about that? It's also reasonably long. Oh my god, all these ending songs is 9. Weapon get from Mega Man 2. Yep. Come on, make me money, please. Please make me money. I want your money. You should put up benches. No. Come on, move on to the next song. So it's a Wily stage. Oh god, I can't remember if it's 5 or 6. 5 or 6 sound pretty similar. It's Wily 1. Oops, no, go home, go home. I'm gonna guess 6 as well. And I am right. Okay. No, I am wrong. Excuse me. I was wrong. This is Mr. X's fortress from Mega Man 6. Jeez, I'm stupid. I'm just failing all over the place here, J. Palmer. Oh god, now I need to see it. Now I need to see it. Hang on. Gothic 1. I apparently don't know anything, J. Palmer. Okay, so Gothic 1 is fine. Let's look at Gothic 2. Okay, that's generic as hell. It's like a Gothic 3. Wow. Okay. I mean, I've seen worse. My god, thanks. Yeah, go away. Cossack 2. Mega Man 4. Next. It's literally the exact same file we're just playing. Oh my god, what? One of the victory songs. Okay, these are too easy. This actually is the end song for Mega Man 2. That's the problem with quizzes. They're either too easy or too hard. I either know it immediately or don't know it at all. Epidemic. Okay, so anyone want to guess on this one? So, this is Mummification again. I actually have played WoW GeoGuessr and not been as good about it as I would like to think I would be. Oh jeez, there's a lot of people waiting in lines right now. Oh, there's one right there. So, this is Needleman from Mega Man 3. You were right about the game, though. See, the way I would do it is like you get a point for successfully guessing the game. Well, depending. So the point for the franchise, if that's a thing. But we're just doing Mega Man games. So in this case, it would be point for the game, and then another bonus point for successfully guessing where it plays.
Patients should keep hunches to themselves.
Listen, all I'm saying is that rice belongs in burritos, as long as it's good rice. That's all I'm saying. Noodle Man! I mean, Noddle Man is kind of the same, right? Oh, God. Where... I don't see any... Oh, there's one. 2 infected left. What? No.
Doctor to psychiatry, please.
If anybody sees anybody walking with their arms out, like, you know, the mummickers, feel free to say something. We have 2 infected right now. Oh, there's one. What do you want to bet it's you? I'm just going to guess that it's you. Nope, it was not her. Oh, we only have 1 now, somewhere. Yeah, so, fun fact, I knew immediately this is Needleman. The reason why is because almost every stage in Mega Man 3 is extremely distinct except Needleman's. So I always remember it's Needleman's song by process of elimination. Well, while I'm sitting here waiting, let's get some training going. Oh, did I ever get another doctor? No, I didn't. Can I get a doctor, please? No. Wait, wait, wait! Yes! A doctor! Okay, hang on. Let's get some training going. Another easy one for me. Any guesses? Oh man, you need to fix that, Blade Taval. Remember, you can guess the game or you can guess the stage. I'm still looking for 1 infected. They haven't spread, wherever they are. And we just had someone die. Perfect, perfect. What? Pokemi? No! No, that's not Amy. That's not Sonic. That's not Knuckles. There's no Tails either.
Someone important is arriving.
Are they, though? I am not seeing this cursed person. Stop dying!
Qualified janitor to combat ghost, please.
We actually lost someone. Someone escaped the hospital while infected. I didn't even see them leave. Am I that blind? I didn't even see them leaving. Alright, whatever. We succeeded,
Thank you for your call.
I guess. We're very slowly making money towards buying our 2nd spot. So this is Mega Man 10. And it is Pump Man, specifically. This doesn't count. So. This is an easy one. I bet even Evo could guess this one. All these fracture ward patients. Marketing campaign worked, for whatever that's worth. We could get rid of the marketing table, since we made some money off of it already. So the name of the song is We're the Robots, Mega Man 9. Mega Man 9 is very easy to detect. Not only is it sound font distinct, just like 10's are. 9 and 10 have the same sound font, the exact same sound font, which is unusual. But 9 is louder for some weird reason. Like, if you look at the waveform, it's louder. But yes, this is Wily 2 from Mega Man 9. And again, the actual name of the song is We're the Robots. Mega Man 9 had such potential story-wise, as weird as that sounds. What do I want to do? I have no idea what Kraftwerk is, Benway, and therefore cannot answer you. I'm guessing based on context clues that they are a band. Either way, the answer is a very firm, I have no idea. Let's get rid of you, get rid of you. Just for you. Push-ups. There you go. Do I already have someone who could scan? I do not. I could use a new... Stupid and expensive. No, you need to go to the CEO track. We're at the point now where I can afford to get picky. And so picky I am being. I believe so, yeah, Ross. So the main plot of Mega Man 9 centers around obsolescence and what that means when you're an artificial being. The term "we're the robots" is all about them fighting, rebelling, let's call it that, against the idea of being thrown out with the rest of the refuse because, you know, they're obsolete. Go commit to this. I was thinking about doing that anyways. It's another chromotherapy. I'm just gonna go to the next one. And the next one. Get a weapon from 5, I want to say. Yep. I might have to take a partial. It's 9. I'll tell you that right now. Why are you storming out? Oh, brainwashed. Right, yeah. Thanks for that. This is the brainwashy CEO. All they do is brainwash people into being worse human beings. That sounds like a joke. It is not. It's really frustrating to deal with. There's nothing you can do about it. They just show up and they wreck your stuff. Okay, so good news, we're making money, which means let's buy a plot finally. I don't remember which stage this is. Oh, that's why. Okay. I wouldn't have gotten that. This is from the mini-game. The side mini-games mode, where you just play endless stages. Or, not endless stages. Sorry, that's the other one. Endless mode. This is Overdrive Scramble, which is its own side mode. Okay, we are getting a lot of fracture ward people. Good news is, we just bought a new area to build stuff in. Bad news is, that takes money. Oh my god, all these freaking fracture ward patients. I mean, yeah, Azar. Don't you? Listen, I'm gonna need you to pay off your debt, Zor, with a little bit of interest. Just a couple extra teeth on top. That's all I'm needing.
Staff are reminded to get back to work.
What is all this 9 music? Enough with 9. We can take your thumbs, Zor, if you didn't pay us back. Alright, Blade Chaval. You got this one right. So the interest rates are 5%, 10%, and 15% respectively. No, we don't have the ability to deal with that. Surgery. End of another fracture ward. Okay, well, we really keep seeing fracture ward a lot. Why are you unhappy? Oh, because you're brainwashed. Go take a break. God, I hate the frickin' brainwash CEO. How much is it going to cost us to get a fracture ward? Because we just keep getting fracture ward patients. And it's getting irritating. So that's a 4x3, so we could scooch that in here. Let's go ahead and take up the whole space for it. And yes, Mega Man 3 boss is correct. Can I scooch a third in? I can scooch a third in. I only really need 3. Put that over there. Put that over there. One of the games where you die. So, any guesses on this one? Ross, do you got this? Ross wakes up, boy. And we all know this is the best ward. Like, the best. You might even say it is an award-winning
End
ward.
year approaching.
Very good, Blue Dragon EXE. Yeah, it's actually just Wily Boss, but Mega Man 1. No, Righteous Ham. We are here to succeed, not to make a good hospital. It's all about winning at this point. Now we just sit here and wait for the money to roll in so we can afford the room we're buying right now. No points for guessing this one. In fact, if you don't know this song, get out of my channel. I'm joking, I'm joking. Don't actually leave. Please, still, God, don't leave me. Send them home. Have a raise. Yeah, it's no joke. This I actually talked about this before. For a while there, I don't know if this is still true. This was the second most remixed song on the internet of video game music. The only song that was more remixed than this one was Super Mario Bros. 1's main theme. You know, the Mario song. Okay, how are we doing? Not great, actually. Yes, it's Mega Man X7. Ooh. I can live with weak bladder. I never understood why Guile's theme became a meme. I mean, for an extremely long time, Mega Man 2 was the best-selling Mega Man game. Then it was surpassed by one of the Battle Networks. I don't remember which, don't ask me. And then it was surpassed, that was surpassed by Mega Man 11. Let's go and move this out.
Request that all outpatients kindly get out.
Get out of there. Our cure rate has gone way down for some strange reason. I say as someone dies. How's our money doing? Yeah. Of course, now we don't have any fracture patients. Now. I set up a fracture ward. Well, what? Okay, cool. I'm technically in debt. Yeah. I think that's a good word for what I am right now. What do you mean technically in debt, sir? Shut up. I know our money's getting low. Thank you. Sun's getting real low. I get it. We'll start firing people for being too good. Oh my god. What? Cure 10 patients. Sure, we could do that, right? Right? Any guesses? Oh, we actually cured someone. Holy crap. Spunk. You're cured! Are you sure? Yes. Oh, for God's sakes, go home. We can't cure you because we don't have that much money. Oh, we're losing money. We're losing money. It's all over. Okay. I mean, I'm about ready to actually just call this good. We're about halfway through curing the patients. That value is just, it's going to be even worse. Like, are we good? I'm kind of good. This is not the flood level I was expecting. This is just an endless level. This is a stage. So, I mean, if I really cared, I could go beat the game off camera if that makes you feel better, J. Palmer. But honestly, I'm kind of good just calling this done. Like, calling the game done. So let's do that. Let's commit to that. Because we're not actually done. I'm going to go ahead and chop off the guessing game now. So I'll tell you what this is. This is just another, I'd say 2 hours of just sitting here waiting. Yeah, me too, Blade Jamal. And, like, we're just fine. I don't know what's up with that. So getting your guesses if you haven't. We have one last thing to look at. I'm not sure where to do that, though. Main menu, maybe? Let's go there. Sandbox, here we go. One last mode to poke at. And we really, this is going to be a quick poke. Now, nobody would ever guess this song. Oh my god, Brigman. Alright, we're going to remove this hair. Oh! Thud. Like I said, Blade-12, this should be an easy one. A lot of people consider this one of the best Mega Man songs ever. I don't agree with that, but it's a damn good song. It is up there. It's in the running. So, sandbox mode. Kudash is what you use to unlock items. So let's look at our options here. Yeah, first of all, you can pick any of the layouts of the places that you've finished, which in my case is everywhere. And you can actually see what the full layout of everything is there and how it lines up. Oh, look at Milton. Holy crap. Fluttering, lower box. Hogsport, 1 room. But yeah, there's the monster that we were just at. You can adjust your starting cash up to 10 million down to in debt. You can change its name. You can change how much kudos you start with. You can change your income multiplier. Let's crank that. Yeah. Patient arrival rate. Yeah, crank that too. We have... So this is actually kind of an interesting one. So, here, let me kill the Mega Man. I love Mega Man music as much as the next person, but let's kill the Mega Man music here. We'll find out in a second. I'm looking at the options. Let's play something appropriate for this. So, we have all illnesses can be appear, and more difficult illnesses become more active over time. This is the default for, like, every stage that we've already gone through. You can also change it to just the easy ones, which is the ones that have, I think, up to, like, 15% failure chance or something like that. I actually was looking this up earlier. Medium, exactly what it sounds like, and just the hard ones. You can also do ones with only visible symptoms, which is an interesting choice. Or, and this is a fun one, every illness shows up at the start, so no ramping up. Just straight up start with everything. Objectives, cure patients, cure and expand, moneymaker, research and training, staff development, or none, if you just want to frickin' build. Staff hiring. All doctors and nurses for hire are students with no qualifications. Jesus Christ, I wish that was a thing in the main game. We can also have all juniors, or defaults. I'm going to go with medical students, yes. Temperature. Temperate, hot, or cold. Rooms. Unlock with research, or all unlocked. So we can get rid of research. We can get rid of kudosh, and we can get rid of research again. We can change whether we have none of the plots or all of the plots. Staff challenges can be toggled. Patient emergencies can be toggled. VIP visits can be toggled. Disasters can be toggled. Epidemics can be toggled. I think that's it. But hang on. I'm pretty sure. Let me double check something. Agreed, Kira White Noise, but this feels like a double positive territory for options, because this is pretty cool. Okay, here we are. Deja vu. Yeah, definitely no laziness with there. That is pretty legit. Hang on a second. There we go. I'm just gonna pull something up here really quick. There we go. And let's see. That is from Jay Palmer. Towards Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Halo. Sky Odyssey. Thank you very much as always, Jay Palmer. Much appreciated. Okay. Oh, pause. Okay, so with our things that we've set up here, as you can see, there's no real objectives to speak of. We're just building. We start off in debt. Whoops. So let's take a loan. And then let's get some basic stuff going. And as you can see, we just have abso-freaking-lutely everything for the first time. So we can do stuff like... Oh, shoot. I should have given myself... Hang on. Settings? Can I change the settings on the fly? Nope. Okay, hang on. So there's Walkerville. It does save it, and it saves it like it does any other level. You can also download a hospital, or just create a new one. Hang on, let's give ourselves a bagrillion cash this time. Walkerville 2. Let's try this again. Massive income, most massive thing. All illnesses, period. No objectives. Medical students only. Temperate. All unlocked, all unlocked, all unlocked. No epidemics. Go. I would say no. Dependent. Because, like, Oblivion kind of lets you do that. But is still definitely lazy difficulty. So it kind of depends, you know? Okay, so. Things we can do. for example, we can make a statue. And then we can make... Hang on. I believe if you can receive Twitch Whispers, then you're good, Jay Palmer. Set the GP office. Hang on, let's do this way. So we've got like a GP office here. And then we've got like a pharmacy. Hang on, I'm doing something weird. Just give me a sec. I don't know if this is gonna work. And then like a diagnosis room. Well, that would be Bragwin's job if she is there. Since I actually cannot send whispers on Twitch, which may sound familiar.
Attention. Please don't look directly at the camera.
Oh, and then we could like... Oh, this is hard to line up. How do you line this up? Hey, Elizar. Can I at least line it up to itself? I can't. Look at that. It won't line up to itself. Well, that's weird. Oh, there it goes. It was just being weird. There we go. Oh, we just set up statues like this. Because why not? We've got a magazine stand. We've got a board stand. We've got an actual bookshelf. Got some roses. Got whatever that is. We got a succulent. We got some corpse. We've got a gross. We've got a Christmassy thing. We got another Christmassy thing. Oh no, he's melting! He's so happy, but he's gonna melt before he gets there. That's so sad. There's a fountain with some ducks coming. Oh my god, look at the ducks. Look at the ducks. Lights. Gong. Dude sitting in gong. Dude standing over gong. This kind of stuff is the stuff you buy with the DLCs. I mean, obviously the DLCs come with a few other things, but like, it's like The Sims, right? A lot of the stuff you buy comes from this. The all-important hot dogs Dawn, we know how important that was, that one map. That it? That might actually be it. Welcome to our hospital. This doesn't look like a hospital, sir. Shut up. I'm going home. Why? Gave up after waiting 30... You were only waiting for reception for 30 days. What's the issue? Do it, Evo. Get the seafood. For real, though. If you can get seafood from an actual... I forget what they're called. Seafood version of a butchery. Yeah. I've been to actual butcher shops in my life. Those have, you know, the good stuff, generally speaking. It is almost always more expensive than the grocery store. And it is always worth it, if you can afford it. Seafood market. Sure, that works. Well, that sounds pretty terrible, Elizar. I'm going to pretend I never heard it, and it's gone. All right, cool. Let's see, where's my cosmetics? There they are. I already gave that positive. Yeah, where I used to live, Jesus. So, 4 places ago, I lived literally right down the street, like a 1-minute drive, almost in walking distance from, if there were any sidewalks, within a wonderful seafood market. Now, I couldn't go in there because literally walking inside made me feel sick because of the smell. But it was a good seafood market. Fully indoors, very cold, and just wonderful spread, and good variety and good quality. And I would wait outside whenever the people I was living with would go in there. Okay, so That is impossible, Ben, when I... You're supposed to move every year like a... migrant, I guess? No. A friend of mine used to use another word to describe that, and I was told that's a slur, and I've been trying not to use that word. I've never really found a good word to replace it. Anyways. Sure. Nomad. You know what? I like Nomad. We'll go with Nomad. Yeah. I'm moving again, hopefully soon. I'm a snowmad. Yeah, that's great. Oh, wow. How did we do last time? I just want to see, because Meltdowns was as far as we got last time we played this, about 2.5 years ago. Oh my god, look at this place. Okay, hang on. So we had a reception desk, big staffing area, 2 GP rooms, cardio, diagnostics, pharmacy, big bathroom. Another cardio. Discharger was up there. Another GP. That's 4 GP offices. Marketing campaign down there. Teaching, way too big of a teaching room over there. Another pharmacy, another diagnostic space. DNA room. Huge ward. Jesus. Look at that ward. It's just weird to look back at the stuff you used to make. You know, I'm just going to see, how did I do that back in the day? So anyways. We've already locked down the guessing game. Yes, we have. Alright. Let's do the boring part. And the boring part is, so I pulled up 2 speed runs of this game. Let's pause that for a second. The first is a specific stage. This is Hogsport. This is, I believe, the first stage. I'm actually kind of curious how they do as well. Just keep building, I guess. I don't know, but when I... Further optimization. It's sandbox. The whole point is you decide what you're going to do. That's on you. So I suppose I'm going to turn that question right back around on you, Ben, when I... What do you do in sandbox mode? That's no. Well, there you go. There's your answer then, Benwani. Jesus. Turning the diagnostic way down there. Not much story from this one. Not a surprise. Most of these games are pretty light story. Even as I define story. This game's story is almost entirely just funny, right? It's humorous. You see, this game engages in what we might call jocularity. It can still be fun, though. It's a very punny story. Oh my god. There can still be good story in a strategy game in general. It depends, right? It's kind of variable. One of the very, very few games, I think, if I ever cover it, that I think will score very well on the story axis is Alpha Centauri. And anybody who knows that game knows why. This game gets at least 2 replay positives. I was going to debate if we think this deserves the 3rd. I'm not sure in this case. What do y'all think? 3rd replay positive, yay or nay? The 2 are easy. The 2 are done. Boom. Easy. Generally replayable and lots of stuff built into the game to encourage replaying. And lots of routes and lots of styles and lots of extra modes. And yeah, no, it gets the first 2 easily. The 3rd one is for a game that's basically a 4X game or a roguelite. A game that is all about constantly replaying it. Like that's the primary vehicle of gameplay is replaying the game. And yeah, as weird as it sounds, I'm not sure this deserves the 3rd. I guess that sounds weird. Oh, he's already done. Whoa, that was fast. Hang on. So let's go with Lighten. StarCraft is a strategy game. But that's not what I meant, and you know it. There's no need to be pedantic about it. Yeah, I think we'll go with a double. I think I agree with the crowd here. I think so far we've only covered, like, I can just check, 3 games that got 3 replay positives. There's Hades, I know. There's Crusader Kings 3. Hitman 3. I forgot about that. And that's it. Well, okay, that's a lie. There's one other one that gets triple replayability. And that's Diablo 3. So Diablo 3. So strategy is an umbrella genre, push-ups. So what I meant was the over umbrella of large strategy games, because I can't think of any large strategy game off the top of my head that has something that most people define as story, aka there's no narrative, there's no plot, right? So yeah, Diablo 3 got triple. Double checking myself now. Hitman 3, yep, that makes sense. Yep. LTTP Rando. Hades, and Crusader Kings 3. Yeah, that's it. Those are the 5. Most randomizers, by definition, should get triple replay. If they don't, they have done something wrong. Like, I'm not trying to be facetious. If a randomizer does not get triple replay, it has failed as a randomizer. Yeah, exactly. The entire point of a randomizer is to go through again and again and again. Would Skyrim get a replayability positive? Skyrim would not get the 2nd or 3rd replayability positives. We can debate the first one, but it would only get 1. Mod support is its own category. It's over there. Okay. Like I said, we can debate that when we get there. I do look forward to reviewing Skyrim someday. Mostly because I'm just curious. I know that sounds strange, but, like, I have no idea. I kind of want to review Morrowind first. Cover Morrowind. We've already covered Oblivion, and I'm confident in Oblivion's current score, because I've gone back through that audit several times, and audited it several times, excuse me. But yeah, like, Skyrim with no mods. That'll be interesting. And yeah, I'm exactly right, Jesse. I'm curious. I'm curious how the story axis is going to hold up, how the gameplay axis is going to hold up, because I don't know. I have rather famously been very pro Skyrim because I think it's a great entry point game for people who've never played video games before. And I have proof of that, by the way. And very anti-Skyrim because I don't care for it that much as someone who's been playing video games since he was 3. Like, it's a fascinating game, and I'd love to cover it someday. And yeah, Morrowind? Anyways. Yeah. Skyrim is a really good, this is your first video game. It is. It checks all the boxes. First of all, it's incredibly intuitive to pick up and play. It is. Arguably too much so, if we're being honest. But that is a benefit for someone who's never played a video game before. It is the difficulty, while lazy, is very scalable. So you can change that literally on the fly to adjust exactly how much of a hard time you're having. So it's a good way to ease yourself in, or if you want to decide more of a challenge, it's something you could literally just do like that. No, Magistrate. No. There's obviously a main plot, and that main plot kind of pulls you forward into like the majority of the mechanics of the game, at least early on. And if you don't care for the main plot, it's really, really easy to head to a town and just kind of get lost in it. To just go do random stuff. And that's Skyrim's main appeal in a nutshell. It's a very, very, very long game. So if you don't have a lot of money and you've never played a game before and you're not sure if you're into gaming, it's a great game to just sit down and roam and learn. At your own pace, too. There's no demand upon it. Yeah, it's a giant theme park. Take your time. Go check out the towns. Go talk to that random dude who's roaming on the road. He might have something to say. He probably doesn't. But he might. You don't know that. What's behind that rock? What's in that cave over there? And yeah, Skyrim is also incredibly accessible as far as availability. It does have some decent accessibility options, but what I meant by that is that you can get it on anything. And you can play it with a mouse and keyboard or with a controller. And it's designed around one of those set methods. And yeah, it's fully voice acted, so you don't have to strain your eyes reading, which is a big thing for elderly people, for example. No, I've stood by this statement many times. I've re-examined this opinion. I have tested this opinion live in the field. I have re-examined this. Skyrim is the intro game. It is the, do you like video games? Here you go. It is the one and only thing I will praise Skyrim for. Because I don't actually like Skyrim. Speaking as a longtime fan of Oblivion and someone who played the crap out of Morrowind, and Fallout 3, and Fallout New Vegas, I wasn't a fan of Skyrim. Like, the story is just not interesting. At all. And the gameplay is just gray wallpaper paste. The DLCs improve on both axes. I will freely give them that. Both of them. But like, just, oh my god. Oh yeah, one last benefit of Skyrim. It is incredibly moddable. It is not going to score the most mod positives because of asterisks. But what the mods are going to get, so okay, it doesn't affect a review, but Skyrim might be the most modded game in human history at this point. And because Skyrim does have incredible mod depth, it is a triple depth game, you can get whatever mods you want to. If there's something you want in that game, there's a very high chance that that mod exists. Yeah, Minecraft was one of the other games I was thinking of. I honestly still think Skyrim beats Minecraft out overall, but it's definitely between those two. Everything else just kind of falls by the wayside, because frankly, I don't think Doom qualifies in the same category. Although there's been some wild Doom stuff. If anything, Doom is probably number 3 at this point. Yeah, but not to the... It is not modded to the same extent. It doesn't have nearly the same user base due to Joker. True, Lord Harriman. Funnily enough, and this, I swear this is coincidental, Minecraft is another first video game. It is, in fact, arguably my eldest niece's first video game. I say arguably because obviously she's played a lot of games with me before then, including Just Cause 3. But the first game she sat down with desire to play of herself and just actually play all the way through it was Minecraft. Hello, cat. Can I help you? Can I help you? Okay. Yeah. My middle niece has also played Minecraft, although she prefers to play Stardew Valley, which I find hysterical. I don't know if any of the 3 qualify as gamers at this point. However, the one who most wants to play video games with me is actually the youngest. Who would come down and say, "Will you play a game with me?" To which the answer was always yes. And then I'd usually sit her in my lap and we'd play WoW or whatever we were streaming at the time. And she'd tell me what to do and she'd mash the space bar. Speaking of games that are extremely accessible for people new to video games, Mario Kart. Most specifically, the new Mario Karts. 8 Deluxe would obviously qualify, and Kart World qualifies for pretty much the same reason. I have not Righteous Am, but that's because I'm extremely elitist. Or more accurately, it's because a lot of people do a lot of things. When we say gamer, there's an implication in the terminology, which implies that it is, and this is easy to define, it is your primary hobby. It is the thing you do most frequently and you most desire to do for fun. Like, I'm not a basketball player, but I like playing basketball, right? I don't know what you'd call that. No, I'm a gamer because gaming is my primary vehicle, my primary hobby. So, favorite preferred combat style in Oblivion. Oh, that's easy. Bow and arrow. I love actually aiming and then like being like, okay, hang on. I love it. Which is funny because I always hear people bash it, and I just think those people are insane. I love doing it. I love archery in Oblivion. Yeah, I like playing basketball. I'm a hooper. I don't know what we'll do in Skyrim. We should be a mage in Skyrim because the magic system is really great in Skyrim. Oh yeah, obviously I'm not interested in gatekeeping it. I'm just a boring person who likes spreadsheets in my head. I think that's it. +7 to story. Can you elucidate on why, J. Palmer, out of curiosity? No judgment, for real. I'm just curious. Look, Ross, I was doing you a favor. From experience. Far too much experience. I could see that, J. Palmer. So what I'm hearing is it's primarily down to the viscerality and the feel of it, rather than the mechanical output of it, which makes sense. I tend to be more focused on the mechanical output, which is exactly why I tend to hate magic in Skyrim. I'm not going to go into the dumbed down argument. Let's just throw that out the window. However, I do think the removal of magic crafting was a terrible idea in Skyrim. And I think the removal of... how do I phrase this clearly? The removal of good spell design in Skyrim. Like, even just mathematically, I could sit here and tell you how Skyrim spells are badly designed. There are some good spells in there, legitimately. And then there are some okay spells, and then there's some bad spells, and there's some spells which you're wasting your time and mana to use. And it's very clear to me that they just didn't think about things like mana per damage or mana per time or anything else that goes into spell design. But I will give you the viscerality. I actually think Skyrim will score pretty well on viscerality when we get there. That's another thing. Just general scaling issues. Skyrim has a lot of scaling issues in various specifics here and there. New Vegas. So I've only played through all of New Vegas once. So I don't have much of a prediction for how that's going to score. I know a lot of people say it's one of the games that is going to be our top 25 contenders. We'll see. And that is how I'm going to respond to that is, we'll see. Congrats, Bregman. Witcher 3. It's always funny to me to hear people's first games, because there's a lot of valid first games out there, right? Oh, I agree, Righteous Ham. 100%. I think they... How would I phrase this? I think they overcorrected in some fields and didn't change anything in others, but because the related mechanics were changed, scaling got worse in like two completely separate categories, if that makes any sense in Skyrim. It's wild and just frustrating. I think I've talked about this before. My very, very, very first playthrough, I was leveling very, very high up in crafting. And I basically soft-locked myself. I was going to do some dungeon. I can tell you where it is on the map. It's like northeast of Whiterun. I don't remember what it was. And I couldn't do it. Everything there was just absolutely murdering me past my ability to deal with. I ended up just restarting, giving up on that save. And what's weird is I was fine in several other areas. And I walk up there, wall. Metal Gear Solid 1. That's a wild first game. Super Mario Brothers 1. I wish I had judge powers every now and again. I know that's a strange sentence, but hear me out for a second. Because there's random trivia I would love to know. I would love to, like, be like, okay, compile a list of everyone's first video game. Now, organize it by quantity. And see, like, what's the most first video game? What is the most people's first video game? What's the second? What's the third? Etc., etc. That would be fascinating to go through and see how that lines up. Mine was arguably Pac-Man. I've talked about that before. And the reason I say arguably is because it's kind of debatable what qualifies as first. Pong would count. Oh yeah, speaking of which, very off topic. Yeah, we also need an age demographic. Very off topic. I was looking up some stuff about SimCity recently. I don't really have a good reason why. I was just curious. I think I was just comparing management sims, and I stumbled on that. Anyways, how many of you remember that there was a time in which video games and games were defined differently professionally? I actually forgot about this completely. I did know this back in the day, and then it just slipped out of my brain. A game is what I've actually referred to several times as an arcade game. It's a game that has no end. That was the definition. That's it. A game that you just keep playing until you lose, which should sound familiar. And thus, a video game was a game that had a defined endpoint, a last boss, a last stage, a last level, whatever. The reason this is so significant is when SimCity was invented back in, I think it was 89, everyone was like, and couldn't believe that there was this thing that looked a whole lot like a video game, but clearly wasn't, because you could just keep playing forever. And this turned into an argument. And Will Wright actually argued with several other developers in the industry that he was making a video game and not a game. Which just proves we've always been about definition arguments as a species. If it's not obvious, and I'm sure some of you haven't even heard of this distinction in the modern era, people just kind of dropped that distinction a while ago. Hell, even the term forever game is actually unrelated to that concept. Forever game is something that's supposed to slip money out of you persistently over a long period of time. And is also supposed to be the only game you play. Which is whatever. Definitions. Alright, so let me look through this audit sheet really quick here. See if I missed anything. This probably did. Super Mario Land. That's a wild pick. I would love to know, like, I guess how a Game Boy was your first game. Like your first console. I mean, by definition, the overwhelming majority of games nowadays would qualify as video games. Because, again, the whole point of a game isn't just the fact that it keeps going forever, but specifically the fact that there is no variety or variance. There's no finishing. There's no escalation. Within 10 minutes, you have played the entirety of a game. And then you just keep doing that. Or don't. Again, Pac-Man. Your first stage, you have seen all of the content that exists in Pac-Man. That's why this distinction doesn't really matter anymore. Even Flash games and the like tend to have some kind of, gameplay to them past that. Favorite SimCity? I have my answer for that. I'm also going to tell you my cheat answer really quick, which is City Skylines. That's a cheat answer. It doesn't count. Moving on. I do have a real answer for you. So what's everyone's favorite SimCity? 3000 Unlimited. I have never gotten a copy of 3000 working. I have tried multiple times in my life. I've never actually gotten a copy. No, I'm wrong. I have gotten 3000 working. I've never gotten a copy of 4 working. Excuse me. LTTP. Now that's a hell of a game. Yeah, 2000 for Windows. You have to clarify, because it's actually different than 2000 for DOS. Really, Judo Joker? Tell me more. Aw, it's okay, Kinix Cow. Attach the Stone of Shame. So here's the deal. You're probably expecting me to say SimCity 2000. Because it is probably the best SimCity game, pound for pound. Thing is, I didn't get to play 2000 that much. And I'm stressing the way I phrase that, get to. For various conjoining reasons, 2000 came out in an era when I wasn't really gaming very often, and didn't really have access to a computer, and was just having issues with playing games. You know, it's kind of the same as I missed out on several PS2 and GameCube things. So I didn't really play 2000. Like, I have played it, but I don't think I ever sat down and even did one full playthrough of a city. So it's difficult to say that's my favorite when I've never really played it. So that leaves only a few options, because SimCity's a dead franchise, which is just, by the way, can I just say that's so depressing, though? SimCity 2013 was the last SimCity game. And then it was so bad that Cities Skylines was greenlit on the spot, and has completely subsumed that space. And then city builders have been expanding in the indie space, and now SimCity is just dead. But anyways, forgive me. I will say one good thing about SimCity 2013. And it is something that I will freely admit I enjoyed tremendously. Can you guess what it is? If you know anything about me, you can probably guess what it is. Hang on, Bladeville, I'm building up to it. Couple people guessing. Nobody's getting it right yet. Gonna keep auditing while people guess for a second. There were some legitimately good gameplay decisions in 2013, but there was like a few, right? As opposed to a bunch of terrible decisions. Honestly, the thing that irritated me the most was probably the city size. It was so small, I felt so cloistered. I felt so claustrophobic. No, the thing I liked about 2013 so much was co-op. Honestly, I never realized how much I wanted a co-op city builder until I sat down with PAX and played it. And for what it's worth, we had a lot of fun with that. We actually played it for quite a while. You know me, I love co-op in general, and for what it's worth, the co-op in that game was actually quite well designed. There was all sorts of ways you could trade with each other and interact with each other and like export this or import this and just like you were managing a region, right? It was just the two of us, but we could have had like 5 or 8 or whatever players there. And there were all kinds of gameplay features that were specifically co-op friendly. And it was awesome. It's a shame the core game under it was not. Like, that was so disappointing. And like, there's no other co-op management sims. There's no other co-op city builders. It's such an untouched field. Anyways, getting back to the point. What is my favorite SimCity? I played the piss out of this game. Like, really played the hell out of it. Honestly, this might have been one of my most played SNES games. At least back when it was new, when I was a kid. Because this was always my go-to replay game. And you're probably thinking, what? What about Mega Man and Final Fantasy? I didn't own those yet. I was poor. So, when I managed to get a hold of a copy of SimCity, I replayed the snot out of this. In fact, I can name you my 3 most replayed games because they were the 3 games I had in that particular era of my life on the SNES. They were Mega Man 7, Mega Man X3, yes, 3, and SimCity. I didn't buy Mega Man X1, Link to the Past, and FF6 until, I want to say, about a year or 2 after that. I've told that story. Now here's the funny part. In this one, no pluses for disasters. It's just, here's some random damage to keep your janitors busy. That's it. It's just a way to give your janitors more to do and nothing else. SimCity on the SNES is a fascinating game because it's like better than it has any right to be. I didn't know a lot about this game for years, and I went back to study SimCity on the SNES much later, and discovered all kinds of fascinating things about it. For example, did you know it's actually a port of the original SimCity? Now, I know SimCity 1 was ported onto everything in the universe, but when I say port, what I really should say is remake. By modern definitions, this is a remake of SimCity. It was functionally SimCity 2. And because they were getting so much support directly from Nintendo, this is A, launch title, which I didn't even know, and B, had a lot of Nintendo developers, Nintendo Core developers, working on it, which probably explains why so many good things are in it. I also didn't know how a lot of the mechanics of the game worked, because nothing in the game really explains that, and it's not what I would call intuitive. For example, just right off the top of my head, did you know that in SimCity SNES, hospitals do literally nothing? Except for take up space, obviously. They do nothing positive. Better way to put that. Same thing with schools. They do nothing. Now, if you buy enough schools, you can get access to a library. But that does do something. But that's it. Did you know that there's actually no reason to buy roads in SimCity on the SNES? And in fact, if you do, you'll have nothing but detriments for doing so. Now, you still need railways. Railways cost twice as much, but are better in literally every way. Roads cause cascading problems. Railways don't. So there's no actual detriment other than the cost to buy a railway. Then there's the fact that you could bulldoze parts of buildings in order to, like, layer buildings on top of buildings, so you could squeeze more buildings in. And there's all sorts of random crap in that game. It's a wild game to go into. It's part of the SNES block, I believe. It's everything. It's also got a surprisingly good soundtrack. Well, that's the Railways, Righteous Hand. Oh, also, the only thing you need, because it's abstracted, the only thing that's actually required is for a railway to touch a zone. So, while there's actually no real benefit for doing this, other than just saving like $20, you could build like a residential with like one railway on it, and then another residential with like one rail on it, and they're both connected to the railway. Because all it's checking for is if it's connected to the railway. Oh, it looks so ugly, Savacon. Here, let me see if I could find it. Show you what it looks like. Yeah, stacking zones. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. Ugh, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it so much. Hang on, here. Can you see that? Yeah, okay. Do you see that? Do you see that nonsense over there? On the left? There's an area with stacked residential. R means residential. It's awful. You also cannot get building upgrades by doing that, because building residential zones residential and commercial zones can both connect with each other, and if they do, they can turn into like a mega building, which has various benefits. I never actually got to play Simcopter, so I never played that. Now let's watch this dissolve while I do the final numbers here. I will admit, one of the reasons I used to play SimCity so much was my mother, and I don't want to badmouth her yet again, but if you know anything about my mother's anti-video game stance, you'll know that having a video game where all I was doing was building a city was something that she was, let's say, more in favor of. Just don't tell her about the Bowser disaster. I remember playing SimTower and failing. Really, Dakota? Interesting. I do like being able to play older games again. Sigh. Do you not know about the Bowser thing? Okay, hang on. Hang on. Where's the music? There it is. Okay, hang on. We'll talk about this much more when we get there, obviously, because it is part of the SNES block. Plug. Ah, too big. Oh yeah, speaking of which, fresh reminder, if you have anything on GitHub, probably try to pull that off of GitHub. Oh right, this is SNES. Where's my SNES screen? Oh no, this is... How do I do this now? Do I do it in the middle? I think I do it in the middle. Like this. GitHub has been connected to the Microsoft AI division, and is going to be a subdivision and working primarily on their new LLM things. So, yeah, find an alternative. And in the interim, just start pulling anything off GitHub that you don't already have. Yeah, anyways. Another consequence of that nonsense. Oh, God, that sounds terrible, Savicom. Why would anybody do that? Okay, so this is SimCity, right? So first of all, I just want to show off something, because we're here, and screw you. There are 999 maps here. What is the best map to use? I'm actually curious if anybody knows the answer to this off the top of their heads. I used to use this map because it was the quickest and easiest to pull up, and I liked having the river. Rivers are universally bad from a purely gameplay crunch perspective, because exactly, Savicom. I was gonna say it's bad twice, but I just like the aesthetics of it, and you know me. But no, the actual answer is 61. Now, there's technically one map better than this, and I'd have to stress that word technically, because the other map is actually so this map has the most concurrent land right here. Do you see that giant swath of land up north? If you just want to build, this is the map to go to, 61. There's another one which is all land with no water whatsoever. However, it's a scenario-only thing, so that's actually different rules. So let's go and make a map. We'll call this Lorville. No, Lorograd. That's not going to fit, is it? Oh, it is, actually. Good thing, because Lorville totally wouldn't fit. Difficulty just changes starting money, nothing else. And And yeah, again, this is a remake of SimCity 1, so you can pan around pretty quickly, you can pan around slowly if you want to actually build, blah, blah, blah. There's your demands in the upper right. It's actually a pretty solid game, weirdly enough. It also has, like, shortcuts. I gotta remember how to use them. Is it L? Oh, God. I don't remember how to use all the shortcuts. I know there are shortcuts in this game. Hang on. There it is. Check this out. On a SNES game, there's a way to jump to your menu, select something, and then jump back to where you were. Now, I know that sounds like a minor thing, but this is a SNES game from 1989. I think it's technically came out in 91, but in the States, but whatever. Calling you out, every other game ever made. It also, it's so ugly. What's wrong with it, like, Jamal? It was also a launch title for the SNES. But no, you're here to see. So let's do some basic stuff here. Let's set up like a residential, and then let's get like a place to work. We'll use roads because we're stupid. And then we'll get like some power. And then they will connect to a giant nuclear power plant, which has no detriments whatsoever. Unless it explodes. And then let's give them some place to work and shop. Right here. Everyone loves the donut, so we'll go ahead and do the donut build. You want to do doubles if you want to have leveling up buildings, so we're going to do the donut thing there. It's funny you say that. This is originally an NES game. In fact, as recently as about 7 years ago, commercial, J. Palmer. As recently as about 7 years ago, this the NES version of this game, which never was released, was found and put out on the internet, if you're ever curious about that. And we'll give them some place to work across the street here. And we're just gonna go ahead and do this. Yeah, we'll just call this Springfield. And I'll put a police department here. There we go. And then let's get some, like, a park in the middle. There we go, perfect. But then, you know what? You know what? I just want a Bowser disaster. The King of the Koopas has invaded our city. While looking for Mario and Luigi, Bowser's destroying everything in sight. Contain the fire sea set and repair the damage before he decides to return for a second stroll through downtown. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you this game is pretty, but it is really impressive in several ways. For example, the palette changes every season, so all 4 seasons actually look a little bit different from each other. And honestly, I'm shocked this game is as good as it is. I'm just going to say it that way. I don't know how it'll score, but this game has no right being this good for being a launch title for the SNES. And then again, launch titles also include Mario World, and I guess it's actually as far as the really good ones, because LTTP was a little bit later. Still, he's a coming. He just roams randomly. I don't even know if he's going towards my city. He kind of is. This is a remake of SimCity 1, is the simplest way to put that. SimCity 1, the original SimCity 1. God. It came out in 89, and then it was ported to everything in the universe. Oh yeah, Fire Skin Spread too, of course. Anyways, and then they made this version. And this version, unironically, exploded in popularity. This is actually, to this day, one of the best-selling SimCity games ever made. No joke. The retention on this to the SNES is huge. It sold so well that Will Wright, the primary creator of the series, although he's not the only one, I don't want to sound like he's the sole creator. Hey, we're at town now. By the way, the music changes with each stage of... Ooh, it's our house. Ooh, there's our house. Oh yeah, let's put our house right there. Anyways, it's Bowser's still just doing his thing. Also, we may have lost our nuclear power plant, which is on fire right now. Anyways, so this game sold so well that they weren't going to do a sequel. So if you ever wondered why SimCity 2000 exists, you're looking at it. I am quite curious how it will review, because it's probably not a very good game, if we're being honest with ourselves. I don't know, we'll see, we'll see. It has a weird amount of quality of life features. Its interface isn't bad. There's definitely some info and game issues. Was it good for the time? This was mind-blowing for the time. This is right up there with Zelda 1 and Metroid 1 in terms of, you can do that on a SNES? Quite frankly, I would go so far as to say that several of the management-y games that came out on the SNES after this are not as good as SimCity. Like, because there's Aerobiz, there's ActRaiser 1. I forget what it was called, but it was one of the Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Was also on the SNES. And I legitimately, no bias or nostalgia here, think that SimCity SNES is a superior game to those. I feel like our city is not doing so great. Anyone else getting that vibe? More commercial zones needed. He's still going. Can you hear him in the distance? Too many roads. Called it on myself. I mean, flooding actually does get rid of fire, unironically. Oh, tax time. Sure. Approve of whatever. Turn the taxes down. These people deserve better than to spend taxes. Let it burn. And then Bowser comes back and is like, alright, theme park time. I'm gonna call it Fireland, which does sound like a place that would be in a Mario game, if we're being honest. That's what I thought. So, someone left to pay taxes. I think that bit of gray is part of the nuclear power plant that's left. And there's 4 roads and 1 power line. I love how the fire is still spreading. And that's a perfect time to actually give our golden number for 2 Point Hospital. 2 Point Hospital was 32.5 hours long. That's actually a little bit less than I was expecting, but in the interest of fairness, I did decide to just be like, I'm good on the final stage, because it was just a sandbox. Plus 7 to story, which is actually pretty solid for this kind of a game. Doesn't quite come as close as, say, Stardew Valley, but still pretty good overall. That is 0.2 pluses per hour to story, and an 88% ratio, which is, that's all pretty solid stuff. Gameplay is plus 36. That is the most gameplay points we've given a management game to date, with a high density of 1.11 and a high ratio of 82. Now, I counted Stardew Valley as a management sim, and I stand by that. I'm just going to be real, that's its immediate competitor. Stardew Valley got 109 point something. 109.11. Two Point Hospital. Can I get a drum roll, please? As we stare at our burning forest and what's left of the town. Thanks, Bowser! Scored a 92.37. Pretty close, actually. and frankly, a damn good score. I do think that the game definitely hit Sunshine Syndrome pretty hard. I think actually a full half of the negatives I gave was for the late game stuff. But the early game is really good. The mid game is very solid, and a lot of the early stages are very fun. I kind of wish they had more variety in stage design, because there's a whole lot of cool stuff they could have done with that. We'll see if they do that in the future games. I do look forward to trying out Campus and or Museum someday. This means Blue Dragon EXE1. Congratulations. So, yeah, a lot of guesses right around the 90s. You're getting good at guessing this, guys. So that's going towards Mega Man Battle Network, Metroid Prime 4, and Oblivion R. Yeah, exactly, Takoida. There needed to be more. I think if I had one final word to say about 2 Point Hospital, I would say that it should have been more. It reminds me, and I don't mean this as an insult, like Overwatch, which was the beginnings of a great game, but not the end of it. Again, this is one of the reasons I'm so curious to try out its sequels, is to see if they added depth, added mechanics. If you are wondering if you like this kind of management sim, this is specifically a service-based, space-oriented management sim. So manage the space and manage providing a service. This is a pretty good game to jump into and try out and see if you like the genre. So several of the people who worked on this game actually worked on Theme Hospital. And so by definition, this wasn't their first game or their first management sim or their first themed hospital game. After all, this is Theme Hospital 2.0. I hope you all have enjoyed, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you not aware, we are now starting a dark. I don't know how long it's going to be. That's why we call it a Schrodinger's dark. It could be really short. I have several things I want to get done. And I don't know how long this is going to take, but I don't anticipate it'll be too long. As always, as anybody who knows me knows, I actually get a tremendous amount of work done during a dark, because I actually work harder during a dark than I do when not. So I have several things on my to-do list that I need to sit through and actually get through. It pretty much is, at this point, Savacom. It is, I will make sure to announce things. I'll try to keep you all up to date. I'll obviously have Discord on my phone, if nothing else. If I end up coming back before leaving here, I will say something and we'll just kind of push through some more games. We've got other Dealer's Choice games to go through that are shorter, so that'll be easy. Or we could play Gothic and I'm going to hate myself. Depending. As a reminder, if you want to donate or sub during the break, I know that sounds weird, but if you put what you want to put it towards in the donation message or in the share screen on Twitch, that gets logged. So even if I'm not streaming, I will see that and I can jot that down. That's always true, not just during a dark. I can start Skyrim. Let's see. So 3 possibilities of what's going to happen, super quick. First is I go get work done, and the move is nowhere, and so I come back and do a couple of short games before I actually move. Option 2 is I'm moving in probably next week, I would say, statistically speaking. So obviously the dark would then be extended to include the 15-hour drive from hell, as well as actually setting up in the new place. The third option is I might be stuck here for a few months, which is an actual option. It's probably what we would call worst case scenario for everyone, not just me. In which case I'm just going to get my off-camera work done, and then we're just going to come back to streaming. So yeah, option 2 is probably ideal, but I don't want to rush it because this is supposed to be a 6-year range house that we're moving into. So the goal is to not just pick any place. No, this is not an any port in a storm situation. We'll see. I'll keep you all up to date. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being awesome. See you around, guys.